Car Clinic will also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's just ahead. This edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, deep in thought down at the other end down there. King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. And our chief engineer making a rare studio appearance. This is our remote studio. It's David Ainsley. So we are really hot to trot, literally, here in Granbury. Going to be 100 degrees here today.
Well, last year was 190 million.
190 million?
Something like that. It was very hot.
But we've got some shade, and we have fans, and we have a big porta-cooler over here.
Don's throwing shade.
And there's one of our fans that just ran by.
Yes. Hello. Is that the kettle corn lady?
I think it is.
Hello, kettle corn.
Hello, kettle corn people. We love you.
Okay. Well, yes, thank you very much for noticing us. Thank you. And I guess, Rick, are cars still rolling in? What time does the event start? Now? Nowish.
Nowish.
It's the weekend and they're all independent.
Yes. And it's a little bit harder.
When they wake up and get here, it starts.
That's when it is.
Well, there's a lot here already, as you can see in one of our other camera shots.
David and Jeff's
Goliath.
girlfriends, when they wake up and get here, it starts. Kathy is your girlfriend, right?
He needs to calm down.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's been kind of on a roll today.
Yeah.
And we had a fine dinner
jelly roll.
We had a fine dinner last night, all of us.
Yes, we did.
We went over to Christina's American Grill.
American Table.
No, I thought it was the
American
saddle. Silver Saddle.
That was where we went.
That's where we went to get drinks.
See, I don't remember.
That's where we got liquored up.
That's why I don't remember.
This is what happens when you get to this age.
when you go in remotes.
Confusion. Constant confusion.
Constant.
So we really
Yeah, I had the braised short ribs last night.
yes, you did, and you ate all of it.
Absolutely awesome.
Was it really?
Absolutely awesome.
That's good. I had shrimp and grits. Oh, just really good. Real good. Real good. What'd you have, Jeff?
I had some type of beef sandwich. Au jus. I had an au jus.
Oh, with the
Kind of a French
it was,
the dipping sauce.
Yeah.
Jeff
nothing to write home about. It had too much sodium in it.
Well, but
I'm on a diet.
That's what the au jus is. It's salt and juice.
Salt and juicy salt.
Something like that.
I'm going to get a pair of pants that
It's
say juicy salt.
It's the braising liquid from the beef, and then they reduce it
Well,
down.
I should have just drank it
gets
off my
pretty
plate.
Salty.
I feel a little tension in the air.
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
Nah. I'm
Okay.
good.
Are you good?
I'm good.
He's just oversalted.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for the next shot.
So I have to tell you, if you haven't seen any of our posts this week, Lone Star Street Rod Association, and Rick is actually standing right over here.
Yeah, he's over here.
He's
To our
looking
right.
at the cars
Yeah.
like the rest of us.
Uh-huh. They're trying to get that. Is it a 55 parked over there? Come
Well,
on,
let's
Rick.
give it-
You
let's
got to
give a
come
shot
sit
at
down
that.
and join us. Well, we're waiting on you, bud. I know.
You sound like my wife.
I am. I'm your hot rod wife.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have made a lot of better choices if that's the case.
That's true. You could have.
Yeah, you would be number 4 for Don.
well, practice.
That's right.
He hadn't made it perfect yet.
No, I don't think there is such a thing. But Rick Neely, are you the president?
You better hope Leslie's
Chairman.
not one.
Chairman of the board?
Chairman of the board, yes, sir.
Chairman of the board of the Lone Star Street Rod Association, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Neely. You know, I dated a girl in high school. Her name was It was not Rick. It was not Rick. It was Sue Neely.
Uh-huh. And what part of the country would that have been in?
That'd have been around Houston, Galveston.
We're not kin.
Okay.
No, I don't have any family back in the tree from that era.
Where are you
over
from?
in that area. I live in Midland right now.
Midland, Texas?
Yeah, Midland, Texas.
Are you an oil man?
No, sir. I'm one of the few in Midland that is not in the oil business.
Yeah.
I build highways.
You do?
I work for a highway contractor that's been in existence for over 75 years.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So your
we
job
blame-
is never ending because they never finish construction on anything.
That's correct.
It's
Yep.
always, let's build 8 lanes. Oh, well, let's build 12 lanes. What did they finally do? I-10, what is it, 16
Oh,
lanes
it's more than
now?
that. It's like 20 lanes
Yeah.
if you include the feeders.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Lone Star Street Rod Association and the run that we have here.
The state run.
The state run.
Yes.
And it's 48 years old.
This is our 48th annual. That's correct.
Are there any members left from the original bunch?
There are still a few running around.
Really?
There are. Yeah.
Are there any here today?
Oh, okay, rolling around, hobbling around.
Well,
I don't know so much about
we're
running.
all familiar with that.
I know I got a phone call from a gentleman named Don Goodnight. He was one of the original founders, if
Okay,
you will. He anticipated he would be here. I've not seen him yet today, but there again, retired.
Yeah, Jackie said he is member number 5.
Yeah, something like that. And I was hoping to see him prior to y'all getting started and such, but I haven't located him yet.
How'd you get involved in this?
My dad.
Really?
My dad. In the mid-latter 70s, my dad, he became a member of Lone Star, and then he missed a meeting, whatever. He turned out to be a director.
Missed a meeting and got elected.
You got it. So, anyway, he was a director based out of San Antonio, and down in the Lower Valley and such. And then 10, 12 years down the road, whatnot, his life got busy. He stepped back, so on and so forth. And then about 12 years ago, I got a phone call from the board, and they asked me to be a director. So I had a conversation with Dad. He said the pay's terrible. Because it's all
we know
volunteer.
we know about this car club stuff.
Yeah. So he says, but he says you've grown up in the culture, hanging around with me. He says, he just talked me into it. So I have the distinct honor of being the only, or at least the first anyway, second generation director with Lone Star.
Cool. Yeah. Now, what kind of did Dad obviously had a hot rod of some sort?
Yes, sir.
But do you have it now?
That's it right there.
Wow.
Oh, great.
That's it.
That's it.
What is it?
That is a 1937 Oldsmobile business coupe.
My kind of guy, Oldsmobile.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful.
That car was going to be my high school car. We got it when I was 14. That's like we're knocking on 50 years ago.
Wow.
And I think he used me as a pawn to convince Mom to let him buy and start building the car. So, going to build it for the boy. Well, he determined that, 1, it was going to be cool when we got done with it, and 2, I would wreck it because I was going to be a 14, 16-year-old kid.
With a hot rod.
With a hot rod.
Did you?
No, because he never gave me the opportunity. We started building it, and he says, no, you're going to wreck it, so we're going to find you something else. So I got a later model car.
What kind of motors it got in it?
It's got an Oldsmobile 350 out of a 71 Cutlass. That's all Oldsmobile, buddy.
Pure dependability.
Pure dependability. And
Allegedly.
Speaking of that motor and that car have over 350,000 miles on it, and the pan and the heads have never been off that motor.
Oh,
wow.
my Lord.
And I can crank it right now. She doesn't smoke, nothing, and it loves 80 to 85 mile an hour on freeways.
Well, clearly it's not the original transmission.
Absolutely not. No.
What do you got, an R4 in it?
No, it actually has a turbo 350 in it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's it running at 70 miles an hour? How many RPMs you get out of that? It's
We're a couple of 22-ish.
Oh, it's not
that's
not
not
that
that
bad.
No, it's geared to run on the highway. The rear
I
end
see.
is.
Gotcha.
So, but no, it was built. That car has seen all 4 coasts. It's been into Canada. It's been to the Keys in Florida. It's been to the LA Roadster show.
Oh, wow.
Half a dozen times. All of this out of San Antonio.
Have you been to the Oldsmobile Nationals at any point?
No, it's not that I'm aware of. I don't think Dad ever made that. But it doesn't mean it won't make it.
Yeah.
But we were smart enough. I say we, Dad, because he made all the decisions.
And Dad's still alive.
Dad passed away about 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he kept the car in his possession until he was unable to drive, and then tried to get me to come get it, and I would not come get the car and take it to Midland until after his passing.
Was he still in San Antonio?
He passed away in San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but fittingly, in the funeral procession from San Antonio up into Bernie to the final resting place, the Oldsmobile led the procession.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's
And
awesome.
with Mom in the passenger seat. And
That's great.
How
Me
cool
driving.
is that?
Yeah.
And so it was, yeah, that's all everybody knows. That is Bill's Oldsmobile.
I would imagine that's not the same paint job that was on there.
That is the third paint job.
Third.
He wore out the first two. Prior to this, it was candy tangerine lacquer that he painted it in the driveway
Oh, wow.
in front of the house. And
That's a talent.
yeah, and it was nice right up to, as lacquer gets old, it kind of
Ages.
Yeah.
You know how we wrinkle and crack? Well, so does lacquer.
Oh, not me.
Oh, well, we won't go into that.
Yeah. What kind of rubber you got on the back end of that? Do you even know?
Black round.
Black and round. That's good. Yeah. And the headlights, surely you've done some modification to the bulb or something in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the car was 6-volt. It's all 12. It's got air conditioning. It's got power windows. It's got, all those creature comforts
Yep.
that are necessary for the cruise to the West Coast or Burlington, Vermont.
Now, was a business coupe like that only a two-seater?
Correct. There's no jump seats in it. That trunk is literally 6 foot deep.
For all of the
Because he would carry all of his wares in the trunk.
Correct.
All of his
And
displays.
you're able to sleep in it.
And behind the driver's seat, there's a set of shelves where he could place all of his literature and such. If he was peddling vacuum cleaners or whatever it may be, he had all his
Brochures.
paperwork in there, his brochures and such there, and his wares to be sold were carried in the trunk, and
That's what made it a business coupe.
that's what makes it a business coupe. And like I say, he figured out how he could haul everything under the sun. I mean, under the seats, you name it. He had every nook and cranny crammed full, because they'd take off and be gone a week, 2 at a time, he and Mom. And I mean, that was basically his daily driver when they got on the road.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that body style is very reminiscent of what they used for. Mars, did you not know that there was a wire there, bud? That they used that body style at Meyer Speedway with great big, some of them 427 Ford and Chevy engines. Race time in the mid '60s at Meyer Speedway. Yeah. And that body style was extremely popular. Of course, without the fenders and some great big fat tires on it.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, if I were to have a hot rod, that'd be it right there.
Well, and the trademark waterfall grill, it's distinctive.
Yep.
It most definitely is. I don't believe I've ever seen an Oldsmobile grill. I've never seen an Oldsmobile that I'm aware of. Because,
There it is.
Of that generation.
Yeah, of that generation.
Yeah, I've got a 70 Rally 350. So,
Oh, nice
probably
car.
the same motor, that 350.
Correct.
That 310 horse 350.
Yeah.
Bulletproof, except mine's like 3,200 RPM at 75 miles an hour, but it's running 343s.
Yeah, and this is probably sporting 288s or 305s.
Makes it smooth down the highway.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea. It's not a light to light hot rod,
No.
but it's plenty respectable.
Is it the original chassis?
Yes.
It is.
Well, it does have a Nova clip under the front end,
Got it.
Ah.
but other than that, yeah.
And what did you do for the suspension? Same?
Yeah.
Can you buy shocks for something like that?
Oh yeah.
You can?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a 70-ish Nova front clip.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Easy to buy shocks for, and it's just a standard shock mount in the rear. And I mean, for the longest time when the car was originally built, when the state run was held up at Waco at Fort Fisher Park, there was a lot of camping available on site. So this car would drag a Coleman pop-up camper from San Antonio to Waco. And
Has it still got a hitch on it?
no, we took it off. I got tired of banging my shins on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just, because you had to stick it out so far past the bumper, and nobody said I was a bright kid anyway. I'd just run into everything and anything. But no, when
It's gorgeous.
What-
the detail in the chrome on that's really
well,
pretty.
and that's what I was getting at a while ago. We were smart enough not to think we were a better car designer than the original designers at GM. So it has all of the original stainless and everything on the car. We didn't take any of it off. We didn't change any of the body lines, didn't drop the top, didn't pancake the hood, didn't leave. I mean, we just, I have a 57 Buick also, and someone asked me, are you going to chop the top on it? What makes you think that I think I'm smarter than Harley Earl, the man that designed the car? So, but no, we were all big about, and Dad instilled in me, when you build a car, if you're building an Oldsmobile,
Make it an Oldsmobile.
Make an Oldsmobile. Put Oldsmobile power in
So
it.
your Buick's got a nail head in it?
Nail head. It's still running the original 364. Now, I did put a 4L60E behind it. Get rid of the old Dynaflow, and you would not believe how it woke that baby up. Made a whole new car out of it. Our 39 Cadillac runs a 500 Cadillac motor in it
Oh, wow.
with a turbo 400 behind it. I mean, Dad just instilled in me,
Keep the brand.
stay as pure as
Clean.
you possibly can.
I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can drop an LS in just about anything anymore. They've
And-
made
and
it so
do.
economical
Yeah,
and easy to do.
And powerful. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Bang-
I'm
bang
with
for the
you.
buck.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
If it's
a
a Ford, let's at least put a Ford motor back in it.
Yeah.
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 Which seems to be more unusual today, that people keep the same brand powertrain in them.
And who would have ever thunk it?
Well,
Yeah. And there's no crime in any way you do it. The
Right.
number one goal is don't let the crusher get the car.
That's right.
Get the, save the car and put it out there.
You have
Enjoy
kids?
it. Got 4 of them. I got 11 grandkids.
Are they all?
boy.
Are they all waiting?
They're in line. Matter of fact, my youngest daughter, she's already got the paperwork on this one. It's in the will. She's getting this one.
And how old is she?
She's 33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
right
mean,
there with
she's
you.
not twiddling her thumbs thinking, when am I going to kick it?
Now she has driven the car.
Yes.
He just looks over his shoulder a
when
lot.
I do. Yeah, as a matter of fact, when she got married, they left the reception in this car.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's cool.
and that was more to honor my dad, because she was Pa's. He didn't make any bones about it. He'd tell all the rest of them, this one's my favorite. She was the baby.
Sure. Understood. Well, so what do we expect here today?
No rain. We're all praying no
Yeah,
rain.
amen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know the forecast is a little bleak. So for those that I evidently don't want to use an umbrella, or don't understand an umbrella, or just don't want to show up in the wet weather, our number of cars that make it may be down, may suffer a little bit from that. But I'm not going to fret about the ones that didn't make it, that can't come.
Celebrate the ones who did come.
It's my position, and I believe my responsibility, to make sure that the ones that did make it out here
Enjoy themselves.
that they have a good time. I'm seeing grandfathers with their grandkids, and so on and so forth.
That's what's needed in the sport.
Well, and that's the foundation that Lone Star is. We're family-oriented, Christian-based. That's how we got started, and we've retained that. It's not a bunch of rowdy. We don't have the burnout contest and such, because tires are too doggone expensive anymore, for one thing.
So are the parts.
But this is, and I'm going to coin one of my dad's phrases. I shared this with y'all last year. Is someone asked him, what is a rod run? And I I love this. He says, well, the best way to describe a rod run is it's a family reunion with a bunch of really cool cars. And that's truly what it is. I mean, and there's some of us, this is the only time of the year that we see one another. But we look forward to the event so that we can see one another, so that we can get caught up on the events and such in the past year. Maybe plan to see one another again down the road in a month or two. It's just fun.
Well, we got to experience downtown Granbury last night.
Isn't that amazing?
It truly is. What a wonderful little town that is. And all the great restaurants and bars around the courthouse down there. It just smacks of Texas, and what a great venue this is here at Hewlett Park.
And I can tell you that without the city of Granbury and their support and the help and the support of the Visit Granbury and Tammy Dooley and her entire staff, the conference center, everything that the city of Granbury rolls out and makes us welcome, they are a big, huge part of the family. They are the reason that we're able to put this event on every year.
Well, there's a lot of signage around town, a lot of billboards and stuff that are welcoming the Lone Star Street Rod Association.
They've got the marquees flashing and going and carrying on downtown around the square. Later on, the trams will start running from the park into the square, and he just makes a continuous loop, and it's carrying people to and from the square. So all the downtown merchants are down there sporting the little buttons you have on your shirt and such, and that's to show our presence downtown. And they're doing a little poker walk, so they go in and to a particular shop, and they're going to draw a card, and they're going to build their poker hand. Well, they also might stop in there. They might spend a dime.
Yeah.
And they might not, but they know where that place is. They know what the wares are that they're having, and they'll go back.
And Granbury's a bit of a destination city, so why not tie the rod in?
It has certainly become a destination city with the designation of the history, and Tammy Dooley and the Visit Granbury bunch and the city, they have, every time you turn around, they're getting another award for this and another award for that. And they have events almost, and probably literally every weekend here. And it, as you stated, it has become a destination. And with hotels availability and such, like the Holiday Inn Express down the road, they're one of our co-host hotels, the Hilton Garden Inn across the way. They're a host hotel. We've got a lot of folks in town staying in hotels.
Yep.
It's good for the city.
And the Holiday Inn Express has been very gracious to us as well.
And I got to tell you, they are
good folks.
They were very excited about y'all coming in. They didn't have anything bad at all to say to you.
Well, because they hadn't found out about us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, keep it a secret, because right now they still like you and they'll still let you in the door.
The popcorn man just delivered some popcorn.
Thank you, Popcorn Man.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And Rick, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Love
y'all
your
so
business
much.
scoop. That's gorgeous.
Thank you. Well,
thank y'all. I can't thank y'all enough for everything that you've done.
We got a couple things we need to get in here before the bottom of the hour. Rick, thanks again. Rick Neely, he's the chairman of the board. I like that. Chairman of the board of the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Hey, by the way, the In Will Time race card is sponsored by Texas Nostalgia Modified Production. And Conrad has that.
Well, so today is NASCAR's at Sonoma, so the first road race of the season. Next weekend, NASCAR's in Nashville, and then on July 2nd, NASCAR in downtown Chicago.
All right.
I know there's a joke in there somewhere.
There he is.
It's the fact that they're going to Chicago. Formula One is at the Canadian Grand Prix on the 18th of June, in Zandvoort on the 25th of June, and then on July 2nd they're having the Austrian Grand Prix. Watkins Glen, the IMSA race, is June 25th, and of course our friend Alec Udell will be racing there. And then the IMSA IndyCar will be at Road America on June the 18th, Mid-Ohio on July the 2nd. And this weekend is the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It actually starts in about
an hour.
About a half hour or
something like that.
Well, they can't compete against us.
No. Well,
And obviously we're not
they're
there.
all watching us there.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
You know, they have it streamed into the cars, so they have something to do while they're doing 220
There you go.
miles
By the
an
way, I
hour.
want to tell everybody that we're going to have all of the hot rod guests here appear on the show, and they're going to park their hot rod right out here in front of us, and Jeff is going to switch it every once in a while.
Oh, look at this one.
Yes, that's a beautiful, what do you call it, a low boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, time to move on now. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts, don't forget, are available at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. Live from the 48th Annual State Run of the Lone Star Street Rod Association at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas. It's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we're going to have Tammy Dooley stop by, we think. Well, at least she's scheduled to be here with us. Conrad's going to have the In-Wheel Time Car Clinic, and we're going to get to Jeff's 5 American cars not sold in the USA, along with some of the headlines making news this week. That's automotive news. We don't care about anything else. This is a car show, baby. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin, our chief engineer, bottle washer, and a rare man in the world of broadcast engineering, David Ainsley.
Soon to be entered into the Hall of Fame with you, Don.
Okay, well, I'll vote for him. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Now that the court restrictions are off of him, he can do that.
Yeah.
Court restrictions, that's right.
And that's why we're here, because everyone paid up their tickets and their warrants are invalid.
Who is our guest there, Mr. Mars?
You've heard about him. This is the legend, the myth, Mr. Don Goodnight and his 32 Ford.
Don Goodnight.
This is number 5.
Yeah, on the roll of the Lone Star Street Rod Association. So what's it like to be involved with this bunch of hoodlums out here for 48 years?
The villains.
Is it good?
Well, I had to take a break in there, to settle my nerves.
Is that what it was? Yeah, it probably had a family thing going on at a time or two.
And a bottle of Jack Daniels.
It's kind of been a lifelong thing.
Yep.
That 32 Ford right there, I saw a magazine cover.
Move that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth. Yeah.
Saw a microphone cover
There you
there back in around 1971.
Yeah.
Rod and Custom magazine.
Sure.
And it had the old McMullen Roadster on it. And I just kept looking at that car. And I've always wanted a 32 Highboy Roadster. And finally able to get one here a few years ago.
So did you buy it? Is that the way you bought it?
This one I bought, yes.
Yep. And did you have? What did you have prior to this?
Well, I've got a 35 Chevrolet right now that I bought also. Now, when I was young and full of energy, I built Model A's.
Okay.
Street rods. And
you hot rodded Model A's.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Them.
He kind of dismisses it like, yeah. Well,
the first one I built didn't have air conditioning in it, and within a year or two, I said the next one I build is going to have air conditioning.
Yeah.
Of course, then I turn around and I've got a Roadster now that doesn't have air conditioning. So.
Doesn't need it, though.
What's the difference between a high boy and a low boy?
Well, a high boy, right below that body line there, there's that's your frame.
Yep.
And a high boy, they basically say, well, the body stays at the same height. Theoretically, you could go over there and bolt 32 fenders and everything onto it. Where a low boy, they actually channel the inside of the body where it goes down.
Drop it on the frame.
Drop it on the frame.
Gotcha.
Lowers it several inches.
But that seems to me that could be problematic because the thing sits pretty low just as it is right there.
Well, yeah, the front axle's about 3 inches off the ground on this one. So it does set pretty low. Suspension. All it does is really lower the body, makes it more aerodynamic.
So is it got a transverse leaf spring in the front of it?
It does. It's got the original style 32 Ford spring in the front.
Yep. How does that drive?
Well,
how does it handle around the corner with that transverse leaf spring?
It actually drives and handles pretty good. Of course, when you've got that set up on the front of an old Ford, and they used that setup up even through the dual I-beams up into the early 50s.
50s, yes.
But it actually drives pretty good. Now, it rides kind of like a buggy.
Gotcha.
So
it's a little stiff.
It's a little stiff, and it's not a comfort ride.
yeah, a little bouncy. Now, what about the suspension in the back of it?
It's got coil-over springs in the back.
Gotcha.
On a Ford 9-inch rear.
So you're able to adjust those.
You can adjust them. But
Does
again,
it make any difference? Not really.
It still rides like a buggy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's more about style than comfort.
That's the thing about a 32 Highboy, with the front end all exposed and everything. Actually, that front end is a Pete and Jake's. It's a all chrome front end. So, you don't full fender car, you can go to the Mustang 2 type front ends and everything and get a lot better ride. But that type car, you really need to stick with the traditional type front end.
Absolutely. And what kind of motor you got in there?
It's a Chevrolet 350.
A Chevy 350. And you had no trouble buying a Chevrolet motor in a Ford car?
No, I've used both engines in cars, and I'm just, like most hot rodders, are a little more familiar with the small block Chevrolet.
Sure.
And the availability of parts are far greater than they are.
A lot more aftermarket dress-up parts and everything.
And more dependable, you think? Not necessarily?
Probably not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what you prefer.
So
but-
you bought it with the Chevy engine in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
this car I actually bought just pretty much as it sits. I haven't
well,
done-
that's beautiful. I wouldn't touch it. Would you ever consider putting a Ford motor in it just to have a Ford motor in it?
Nah, I'm getting too old to mess with stuff like that.
We can relate to that, I promise you.
That's like here several years ago. I didn't have a old car at all at the time. I didn't get an old car, and told my wife, I said, "Well, I'm not gonna go buy one and build it from the ground up." I said, "I might not get it finished before I die." I said, "I'm gonna buy something
Close
pretty
to
much
finished.
close to finished."
You wouldn't get offended if I asked you how old you are.
I'm 71.
Okay.
Not that old yet, but
No.
I'm going downhill fast.
No, you're not. No, you're not at all. At
No.
all.
Some
Now,
days it feels like it.
so you have other cars as well.
The only other car I've got now is a 35 Chevrolet.
35 Chevrolet. What do you use to go back and forth to the grocery store?
My pickup.
Your pickup. And what is that?
I got a Toyota Tundra pickup.
Do you?
Built in
I do.
Texas.
Built in Texas.
Yeah. And you're happy with that?
Yeah. It's man.
It's air conditioned.
It's
It rides
air-
nice.
There you go.
It's got all
And
the pleasures.
Dependable as heck. You know. The old car. Yeah. I mean, I drive them moderately,
Yep.
but they're. It is hard to maintain an old car and drive it every day.
Oh, what?
You probably heard the name Scott Ingram.
Yes.
Scott was one of the original 7 Lone Star guys. And Scott had a 32 Ford Coupe that I know for a pretty long time, I think that was his everyday driver.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I had an old, he had several different Ford engines. He always had a Ford engine in it. But, you'd see Scott's old orange 32 going around. And that most of the time it'd be kind of dirty, because he's driving it every day.
Yeah.
Now, does he live in the same city as you?
No, he lives in he used to live in Austin. He's moved kind of out in the country now.
And how about you? Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Temple.
Temple,
Pretty much all my life.
Uh-huh.
I actually still live in the Temple city limits right now, but I've got a Belton address. Temple and Belton have kind of just grown together.
Yep. Well, George
So-
Skelton is a Temple guy. Good friend of ours. I went to grade school and high school with him, and he's in Temple, and he's not a car guy at all, but he is a character deluxe. He needs to be in a car club.
Yeah,
He would be the entertainment.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, there's that. So that's a custom top on there because it's obviously been chopped,
Right.
and I can only imagine. Can you? And I know you can too, since you're a car builder. Trying to make the bows to get the top to go up and down on a custom.
Well, the one thing about that top, it doesn't go up and down. It
Oh,
comes.
it doesn't.
It
comes off?
It's built like the old folding top.
Yeah.
But it actually, you just unbolt it and take it off.
Gotcha. Do you ever do that?
Occasionally.
Yeah, because it's a total pain, I would imagine.
If you look at me without this cap on,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of
Protection from the sun.
I got
sun
you.
protection.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you.
And
I'm not.
and this sun gets pretty hot on a bare head,
Yes, it does.
even riding down the road in the
Well, it's
car.
got
They
air
also-
conditioning.
Yeah, it's that little flap that opens up there on the cowl there.
Oh, really?
That's
So this one does not have air conditioning.
no, the 35 Chevrolet's got it, but this one, it's got the 100-mile-an-hour air conditioning where you open the
Yeah,
vent.
sure. Absolutely. Now, did you trailer that car here?
This one I did today.
You did.
I've got a knee that's really bothering me. It really bothers me to get it on the accelerator in that car. So I trailered it today. But matter of fact, that's the first time I've trailered it to a car show anywhere.
Is it an enclosed trailer?
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I had a show car one time that I trailered on the back of a car carrier, and it snowed and rained on the highway. And you know what that does. That is not good.
It's not good, no. But typically, when I was young, we drove everywhere. Everything. The first
course we
car I ever built was a 1930 Model A coupe, and I literally got it on the road. And from Temple, the furthest I'd ever driven it was Waco and back. And we had several guys there around town. You know, well, let's go. The NSRA Nationals was in Tulsa that year.
Yeah, that's a good haul.
Let's go to Tulsa. You know, and I was about 21 years old. Just got it on the road, no paint. Barely had gotten the windows
Fearless
in it.
at 21.
Yeah, let's go. So I jumped in that car. Never had been more than 30 miles away from home. Took off, went to Tulsa. So, you know.
And you didn't get arrested? Yeah. Not that time?
No, I've never been arrested.
Well, that's good.
Got a few tickets, but
just a few.
Yeah.
Well, if you keep hanging out with us today, your options are good.
I wasn't in the wrong. Well, I got one speeding ticket that I deserved. The rest of them were just
nothing. Do you ever show that car?
Just car shows, I guess, or
you don't go to like Autorama, the Dallas
no.
big indoor.
None of the big indoor shows.
Do you ever go personally to any of those shows?
I have been. I actually haven't been to like Dallas Autorama and stuff like. I haven't been to one of those in a pretty long time.
Well, it's changed a lot.
Oh yeah,
as you can imagine.
Oh, everything's changed. When I was 50 years ago, when I got into street rodding, of course, street rods were a big deal, and almost everything then was called rod runs, and they would typically be 2 days. Some of them, like when we started Lone Star Run, it was 3 days. There were a few others that were 3 days, but people stayed in motels or camped. Camping was popular, and now, it's all the bulk of the car show deal nowadays is the little 1 day show from
cruise-ins
9 to 3.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of like cruise-ins. And,
well, I have to tell you that I was fortunate enough for the second year in a row to go on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with that, or you've probably seen posts about it?
I've seen posts, yeah.
Yeah, it starts down in Victoria, and then we wind our way up here, as a matter of fact. And great fun, lots of fun. Quite a few cars like yours, not like yours, but similar, older cars, hot rods, and very popular, and everybody has such a good time. And as you know, in this sport, this hobby, whatever you want to call it, that's really the draw, is the camaraderie and looking at everybody's car and what they've done to it. Hey, man, did you see the new valve cover gaskets that I put on since the last time I saw you? That kind of stuff.
One thing about it, these car people, there's no strangers.
No, there's not.
You pull up and park with somebody you've never seen before in your life, well, you just start up a conversation.
Absolutely.
With them.
And the cars are ever evolving over time as well.
Oh, yeah.
The same person may own the same car, and over 10 years it may go through a couple of evolutions.
Oh, exactly. And plus, 50 years ago, you wouldn't believe how many of these old cars were sitting around
rotting in a field.
Well, everywhere, if you
were.
if you wanted to buy a Model A or anything, you got out and drove through the country, you'd find them.
Sure.
Now, the old cars are getting really hard to find.
And if you find them, usually they're really expensive.
Now, when you're here at the show, do you have the same spot that you show your vehicle in on the lawn every year, or do you move it around? Because I noticed from last year that we were here, some of these look very familiar in the same spots.
Some people try to get here and, put up their
claim the same area.
Yep. They kind of stake out an area, like on Friday evening.
Looking for the shade.
Yeah, looking for that's the first spot that fills up over here by the pine trees.
The trees. Yeah. Well,
some people move around. It's just whatever.
Well, Don Goodnight, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you here on the show with us today. One of the original members of the Lone Star Street Rod Association, and we're glad you're with us. And beautiful car, and we salute you, sir.
Well, I'm not that active now, but 50 years ago it was something seeing it. Have you ever heard of the Central Texas Street Rod Association?
I have not heard, but I'm sure that they exist.
No,
they don't exist anymore.
But that was kind of the original deal for the people that got the Lone Star Street Rod Association.
As a catalyst for it.
It was catalyst. All the people lived up and down I-35.
Sure.
And we'd been talking about forming a Central Texas Street Rod Association between the clubs along I-35. Well, we got together, and I think Scott and George Allen from Austin, they said, why don't we just limit it to Central Texas? Why don't we make it the entire state? So that day we kept, okay. So we come up with the Lone Star Street Rod Association, and it blossomed from there. We set up a meeting at the Capitol grounds in Austin, I think 2 or 3 weeks after that.
How many different clubs now are part of the Lone Star Street Rod Association?
Now? I have no clue.
No.
You don't see as many clubs now as you used to.
Right.
Clubs were a big deal.
Yes, they
50
were.
years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's still a lot of clubs around, but it's a little more loosely tied. I know there in Central Texas, we do an email. It's kind of like an email club.
Yep.
There's no club rules, no officers or anything. We just send out emails to keep people up to date.
Up to date on what's going on where the events are.
Exactly.
Well, we would invite you to follow us on Facebook and any other forum that you see, and you'll be hearing yourself sometime this week. Mr. Mars does all of our podcasts, and so all of that is part of what we do.
I don't know if I want to hear myself on the radio.
I advise against it.
Don listens to himself all the time.
Yeah. Don, good night.
No.
Thank you very much, sir.
I listen to my wife.
Oh, there you go.
I'm second on that list.
All
right. Good talking to you guys.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Beautiful
you very
car.
much. Hey, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. Again, broadcasting from the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run here at the Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas. Also, like to remind you that we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now, Jeff is going to do the American cars not sold in the USA.
I got to reload it, I think.
Oh, you do?
Wait, no, I got it.
You got it?
I think I do.
Okay,
Jeff's
well,
got to
that's
get
good.
loaded.
He's got, and we're good about that.
Okay, so this is, there's a lot. There's like 30, 35 different models, but they're all from the same manufacturer, Chevy, Ford, Dodge. So these are a few of these vehicles that are built. Let me see if I can't get this up going here. There you are. That the first one we have here is a Dodge GTX V8. Chrysler Corporation was pretty active in Argentina, and it produced several models aimed directly to the local market. But the most significant model and luxurious model offered was the Dodge GT. It's a Dart-based sedan with better equipment by the famous 225 slant 6
Oh, wow.
engine.
I did not know that.
Yep. The car was introduced in 68, but in 70, Chrysler Argentina decided to build the proper muscle version of this vehicle, and it was the Dodge GTX.
And they put a Hemi in it.
Well, this one had a 318 V8, which delivered 212 horsepower, or the 230 horsepower, depending on the year model that they were producing. So that's one for the Argentina flag. Let's see, we're going to this one here. This rascal is a Ford RS200. Back in the mid-'80s, motorsports were all about rallying and famous, terrifyingly dangerous Group Bs.
Group B.
Group B was a part of the World Rally Championship, which featured factory prototypes loosely based on production cars with insane turbocharged engines and all-wheel drive systems.
Very loosely based.
This brought many exciting and fast road cars, since the manufacturers are obligated to produce a number of the road vehicles for racing. So that's a pretty good-looking little Ford hot rod there. This next one is a good fancy of mine. This is the Chevrolet Opala SS, not Opel. The Opala SS is a typical example
Very close
of
to
a
Oprah.
Brazilian muscle car Chevy produced in the height of the
Brazilian.
muscle car craze. They introduced this handsome fastback coupe
Just
in
a thin little
'69.
line.
This came with a wide range of formal body stylings, the Chevrolet's main and mid-model sizes for the Brazilian market.
And a free can of wax.
However, the name Opala was controversial because customers thought it represented a mix between the names of Opel and Impala. So that's why they were a little confused. Although not much today's standards, it was given the Opala SS decent performance. Even with its success on the tracks, it did win many races in the Brazilian racing circuit. So there was
Sure
one
it
of
did.
those. Yep, it did. Now this one's pretty neat.
And they worked in the Willy Wonka factory, the
This-
Opalas.
This is a Ford Fairmont GT introduced in 1970. The Fairmont was a full-size sedan designed and constructed by Ford Australia. Their division sold mainly to the South African division. It was basically a version of the Australian Ford Falcon XY. The Falcon GT was one of the first and most popular Australian muscle cars, so South African dealers wanted one of their own. That's how the Fairmont GT came to be. Powered by Ford's 351 V8 engine, 300 horsepower, making it one of the fastest and most powerful cars in South Africa. The 0 to 60 was pretty respectable at 7.2, and the Fairmont GT was expensive and rare. At the time, they only built 1,824 of these rascals. So there's not many in the production. This one is one of my favorites as well. This is the Chevrolet Forenza Can-Am. One of the craziest, rarest Chevrolet muscle cars is
Forenza.
the Forenza Can-Am. Got my F's and my C's mixed up. Chevy introduced this in '73 based on the Forenza Can-Am, a two-door sedan designed from England, but they built it again in South Africa, Mike, under the Chevrolet badge. Best thing about it, it had a 5-liter Chevy V8 straight out of a Z28 Camaro. Performance heads, close to 400 horsepower. Lightweight body, 5.4 seconds in the 0 to 60. Acceleration figures close to a Ferrari and a Chevrolet. Today, the survivors of this are very, very expensive. So there you have the 5. Built, but not sold in America.
All right. I'm going to move the car clinic to the next hour, Conrad, if that's okay with you.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Because I have to get in some of
We
the...
got to get up to date.
Pardon me?
We got to get up to date.
We got to get up to date on the news.
On the news.
On the news. You ready? Wow. Is that a 64 Impala?
I don't know, but I want it.
What did you say,
Got a good
Conrad?
yeah, it looks like it's got a good rumble to it.
You ever have problems getting an inspection sticker?
No. Should I?
No,
I mean,
there's a couple of shops that hand them out pretty easy.
Getting the car to pass inspection. Let me put it that way.
That can be an issue.
Okay. Well, you don't have to worry about it after next year. Okay? Boy, there's a lot of exhaust going on right now, right here.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this rumble and why that rumble sounds like
In
that.
2025, state inspection stickers will be replaced by an annual $7.50 fee, the same as the current inspection fee, but without the need to actually take your car, for most, into the shop. Drivers in new vehicles that have not previously been registered will pay $16.75 upon registration. That money will benefit the Texas Mobility Fund. You got to be kidding me. Some law enforcement officials opposed the bill in front of the State Senate Affairs Committee during the legislative session, arguing annual inspections protect the public from dangerous vehicles.
Oh, no.
Owners of auto shops have expressed concerns the lack of an annual requirement would close their businesses. Yes, some it would.
Well, and they've all made investments in the equipment to do state inspections, and now that's all going to be flushed down the toilet.
Texans living in the most populated counties, however, will still have to appear annually for an emissions test.
Right.
The 17 counties that require emissions inspections include those surrounding the major metro areas other than San Antonio. Harris, Fort Bend, Brazoria, Montgomery, Galveston, among others, are the counties that will still have to take.
And
your
pretty
car.
much all they do is plug into your
OBD.
computer communication
OB1
plug,
Kenobi
yeah.
plug. Mm-hmm. I want to kind of get it to another story here. I've got several, and I want to make sure that I get this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all about you, Don.
it is. It's always all about me. Thank you.
We
Conrad.
recognize that.
I know. Well, once the center of American life, AM radio stands in the middle of a tussle between automakers who want it gone and federal lawmakers who say it's key for emergency alerts during catastrophes.
Because so many people listen to it.
BMW, Mazda, Polestar, Rivian, Tesla, Volkswagen, and Volvo do not offer broadcast AM radio in their electric vehicles, citing the EV's motor's electromagnetic interference with the AM system and a resulting ticking sound.
Oh.
About a third of all new EV models available for purchase in the U.S. in 23 are not equipped with AM tuners, according to SBD Automotive, a global automotive technology research firm. You know how much an AM tuner adds to the price of a car? $20 to $30.
I was going to say 40.
Could you not just do that? But I will say this, that with the internet, your telephone, and the Bluetooth in older cars that streaming. You need to put your headset on if you're going to talk.
Leaving. He's got a date.
You leaving?
Yeah.
You going somewhere? No, we don't want to know about that. But at any rate, they're still working on it. There's no decision been made. But guess what? I think that the government. I think that the government is going to win, at least temporarily, in keeping the AM radio. Yeah, I'm not talking to you. You don't have a microphone on. So we are going to take a quick break, and we are going to be back at the Lone Star Street Rod Association here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Network. Stay with us, won't you?
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around, and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
Live from the 48th Annual State Run of the Lone Star Street Rod Association at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we talk to Tammy Dooley with the Granbury CVB. You know what that is? The Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Exactly.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I got it right this time.
Yeah, we kind of messed that up.
Totally screwed it all up last
a little
week.
faux pas.
We'll have the upcoming events calendar, more of the stories making automotive news headlines. Mars has 5 road trip essentials for us. Plus, you'll hear the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, who's back over that way. We need more Jeff Zekin and our rare appearance man, our chief engineer and bottle washer, David Ainsley, is with us on the trip. Thank you for being with us, David. What could we do without you?
Well, you need to tell her the story on how you got the name.
Oh, no, we won't go there.
No, that's not one of those things that she wants to know about. But it's a good story. And one day when we have cocktails,
you can tell your grandchildren about it that you're going to have soon.
That's right. Are you going to have grandchildren soon?
I am having a grandbaby today.
Is this your first?
It's my first with our son.
Gotcha.
My husband has a daughter who has 3, and so this is our first.
Well, grandbaby and Granbury. Isn't that Granbury and Granbury?
Granbury. That's
yeah,
it.
There you go.
Tammy Dooley, Convention and Visitors Bureau here in Granbury, Texas. So where are you off to? Because you're ready to go right now.
Yeah, you're
aren't
busy
you?
today.
I am busy. We are headed to Angel Fire, and they are having the baby at home with the midwife.
Angel Fire,
New Mexico.
Wow.
Yes, about 10 and a half hours
And you're
away.
not driving.
I am driving. I'm not one of the fortunate souls that has a plane, like a lot of our friends here who fly up there all the
But
time.
you know what? Fort Worth is just up that way.
Yeah, well, I know, but by the time you get into like Albuquerque and drive, we can make it. So we're ready. We're packed. We're ready.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to miss seeing you.
Well, we didn't. We're so glad that you didn't. What are you driving out there to? To Angel
hot rod,
Fire?
right?
No hot rod. It's a Ford F-150 truck.
Okay.
But it's new.
Yeehaw. Well, that's nice.
That's a nice driving truck.
Yeah, that's a nice
his
driving truck. It's
microphone's
actually
not
a
on
great
there,
truck.
David.
Yeah.
You got it?
Mr. Morris, could you pull your microphone up to your mouth?
There you go.
That's the way it works usually. let me hear you, Mike.
Picky.
I know. There's that. It'd be like me doing the show like that, so nobody
Don,
could
can
hear
you put
me.
your microphone close to your mouth?
I got it.
So, Tammy Dooley, we had the lovely opportunity last night to have dinner downtown, and we had a fantastic dinner in that downtown area. That is a gem. That's a jewel. What a wonderful place down there around the courthouse. It's the old Texas Square with the courthouse sitting in the middle of it and all the little shops around there.
Our girls are walking it right now.
I love it. Where did you eat?
We ate at a place called Christina's.
Oh, fabulous.
Fabulous. It was really,
Fabulous.
really, really good.
Well, we
And
started out at some silver
Silver
Saddle.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Because what?
We didn't
That's
have
a
the ice
parlor. It's a barlor.
It's a barlor.
Yeah.
Yes.
parlor, not parlor,
Like
barlor.
barlor, so you can have any ice cream you want with liquor. I mean, how great is that?
That's what we thought.
And
We thought, this is so cool.
It's the
Well,
best idea I've ever
we
heard.
started out there, and then we went to Christina's, and then we went back to the ice cream part of the barlor so they could all do their little desserts. So that's what, and then I don't remember anything after
Jack
that.
Daniels, vanilla, and all kinds
Well,
of things.
I'll tell you what, those Jack Daniel floats are really something to take home with you.
I mean, when they opened, I thought this is either going to be just ridiculous or it's going to be the most
It's huge.
genius
It's what a
idea.
hit.
It's huge. Everyone goes there, and
Yeah.
they have great bands outside. I don't know if you went and enjoyed their entertainment, but they're really great. The owner's great.
I think they're saving that for tonight.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, okay.
there was no band last night, but
Okay.
we're looking forward to it. Yeah. But what a great downtown area.
You
I had never been down there before. We passed by it on the way out of town last year. But I said to the boys, let's go and taste Granbury at a restaurant, a local restaurant down there. So we did, and no regrets whatsoever. It was great.
I'm so glad. Well, if you had seen Granbury grow over the last 20 years, you just wouldn't believe it. It started out really as a great girlfriend's weekend for shopping, and it was heavy boutiques, no bars, anything like that. And now it's turned into this great music vibe, late night, after dark. So we do everything. We shop during the day, start wine in the afternoon, and then party all night.
How close do you live to the downtown area?
I-
Within walking distance?
Not for me. I live in Pecan Country Club, which is about 20 minutes away, but the downtown really is expanded to
So
everywhere down
we
here.
have the Tammy shuttle that goes back and forth.
Yeah, I do. I have a BMW shuttle.
That's very nice. Yeah. Well, thank you for the nice gifts.
Oh, you're
how
so
about that?
welcome.
Very cool.
Nice coffee mugs and some treats inside. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, we're just excited you're in Granbury. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the promotion leading up to this, and we want you to have a great stay.
It's a
And
beautiful city.
thank you.
Lots of fun things to do, and everybody we've crossed paths with, or they just love the city as well.
Everybody does. We have a, as you've heard, like a little hallmark town, and it's just a great place to be, and we love it. We love sharing it. We're a total tourist-driven community, so we're used to all these
And you get
visitors coming
recognized
in.
that as a tourist-driven community by the state
Yeah.
and some of the state organizations. As
And
well.
I have to tell you, the little brochure at the hotel that we stayed at last night over there at the Holiday Inn Express, has all of the restaurants all around here. What kind of food? What do you want? You want Mexican? You want American food? You want Chinese? Whatever it is, it's all listed on that pamphlet. And that's what sold me on Christina's once I went online and looked up Christina's and I saw the menu. I'm thinking, let's go there.
Well, that's music to my ears because that's why we do it, and we want you to make decisions like that on what's good to do. We did just win a statewide award as the best foodie destination in Texas.
I believe it.
And by the Texas Travel Awards, and we were so honored for that because it was by popular vote, and we were up against some big hitters like Austin and San Antonio, big cities. We're just a small community, like 65,000 people around us, about 11,000 in the city. And so to get that award was pretty cool.
It's big recognition as a foodie town.
It really is.
In what tends to be a foodie state.
Yeah.
And the way that Don decided on it, you called them, and they don't take reservations until that story.
Well, no, they didn't have any reservation slots open. But they said, if you'll come down here, we'll get you in about 7:15.
They kind of knew what their schedule was.
We all headed down that way and went in there, and I said, hi, I'm Don. Oh, sure, let me put you down here. They got their own little rules about how to reserve a table down there. And so can't get you in right now, but there's a great little place down the way called the Silver Saddle. Go down there, have yourself a drink or an ice cream, and we'll call you. And almost on the dot, 7:15. Phone rings. Hi, it's whatever her name was at the restaurant. Come on, we're ready for you. Okay, get down there. And I forgot that David and his girlfriend were going to appear at that time. So we went from a table of 5 to a table of 7. Well, we kind of threw the dish rag all over the place down there and all upset everybody, but they made accommodations for us, and it was great. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me very happy that you made a good choice.
And the food was awesome.
I'm so glad. Did any of you have anything with lobster in it? Because they really do have some good lobster dishes.
Well, thanks for telling us now.
No, I had
next year
braised short ribs.
Oh, yeah.
To die for.
To die for. And Chef Gary Folger is amazing, and they're just really good. And so while you were doing that last night, I was at the Opera House enjoying Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and some friends of ours were at New Granbury Live seeing Junior Brown, who is, a Texas icon. Yeah, he's amazing, and they were sold out. So, I mean, all that was happening last night on the square. Where do you see that?
And that's a Friday night.
Friday night.
Oh, Friday night.
Tonight it'll be bigger because we have everybody here, with the
everybody that
Street
came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but that live venue, that looks like an old movie theater that's being converted?
Actually, it has a huge history with, it actually used to be connected to the Great Race. Are you familiar with all of that kind of stuff? The Tom McRae, I'll get this story mixed up, but he started the Great Race, the whole thing, and I think they did car repairs there in that whole corner.
Oh, wow.
And there's actually, things in the building of that. So now it's a very intimate theater. They call it the best intimate live music venue in Texas. It's really small but very quaint, and we have great entertainment there. Junior Brown is
because you're up close and personal.
Oh, you're like this. Mm-hmm. You're just like this, and they're right in your face, and they love it.
There was another country band at that theater.
Yeah, I don't remember
some sort of tribute to.
It was a popular country band. I can't remember the name of it. It was at the movie theater time.
Yeah, it was on the other side.
And there was a line of people out the door.
And something else over here.
If you follow them on social media, they have a different act Friday, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's just constant. So you can easily come into Granbury, go to see them one night, go see a show at the Opera House, which is iconic. It's kind of the anchor of the downtown, and then just eat and never leave downtown. But I mean, there's great restaurants everywhere, but downtown is really special.
I looked up actually when I was sitting at the dinner table. I said, man, this building is really old, and right around the turn of the century, last century, 1900-ish, that's when all that was built down in there. But Granbury was founded back in the 1800s.
Yes.
So there's so much history here.
So much history. A couple of years ago, we celebrated our sesquicentennial, and it was just great. We had a big celebration, and it's interesting you mentioned the buildings because those buildings have, I like to say they have souls. There's a lot of people there who some people don't believe in haunted stuff, but for those that do, that's a whole other thing to explore.
I
here.
saw that. Yes. Yeah.
A lot of that.
Right. I was very impressed. I wished that the waitress would have known the history of that particular building where they are. Mm-hmm. She did not.
That particular building is one of the very most haunted buildings in Granbury.
The one we had dinner at?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The three there in a row.
Yes.
They just have all kind of history. One of the stories, let's see, you would have been to the left of Oz. Did you see Oz?
Yes, we saw
Okay,
Oz.
Oz is a whole other thing. So today, if you can get there and have a cup of coffee or latte or something, you need to do that, or a glass of wine or something. But those buildings have this little girl ghost that's been seen many, many, many times, and she supposedly, fell off the balcony watching a circus come through town in the early 1900s. So or 1800, whatever. Think about that. And the sightings, a lot of people say, oh, that's not true. Well, the buildings are made of limestone, so they, according to the people, the
lore.
Yeah, they believe that keeps spirits there and able to, whatever. So I love it. I think it's fascinating.
You have a famous person buried in a cemetery here, too.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Jesse James.
Yep.
We actually we claim a lot of history here, and we have Jesse James. We have connection to John Wilkes Booth and all of that kind of stuff, and we really should read all about that because it's fascinating, and I believe it to be true. Old timers believe it to be true. He is buried here. We believe it's really him. They did exhume his body to prove it, and the body they exhumed was not the right person, and it was because back in the day they really didn't know exactly where graves were marked, and they know they did because this person didn't have an arm, or vice versa. I think he didn't have an arm, and anyway, it was a person known to have not had an arm or something, and so they know he's buried there in the spot where the headstone is. So it's pretty cool. And the Granbury City Cemetery is where he's buried, and you can go up there and see General Granbury's grave. And we actually have it at Visit Granbury. We have a brochure of all the famous people buried in that cemetery. And people come, and it's a walking tour on your own, and you can see, there's 25 people that are famous buried up there that are connected to our history.
They don't call it Boot Hill.
No, but right across the street from my office is the Langdon grounds, which is where the Gordon House is, and there's a little girl ghost that supposedly haunts that, and many sightings. She's buried in that cemetery, so a lot of people go out there and see her grave.
Where is your office?
I am between, I'm right, I'm near downtown. I'm on the square, kind of. There, I don't know if you saw the Methodist Plaza building. It's an old church that's been converted. It's an outdoor little stage area. I'm connected to that. So I'm half a block off the downtown. And then right across the street is a historic Langdon grounds, and that's part of our tourism department. And it has a historic building and an old chapel that's been restored. We call it the concert hall. We use it for a lot of art events, and it's got this acre block, and we do festivals out there.
Oh, wow.
So all of that is part of our tourism effort and the Historic Granbury Merchants Association downtown.
But see, yesterday's goal was to end up in Granbury like we did, but getting here from Sugar Land, where parts in between, all the other little towns that we went through to get here.
Yeah, we came up the back way.
Yeah,
through
beautiful.
Waco. Yeah,
Beautiful.
We made some stops and all that good stuff, and it was just amazing that this is what's happening.
We
in
learned
Texas.
about Sefco.
Yeah,
You familiar with Sefco?
Sefco, the gas station convenience store.
No.
You need to get out. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Now I know Buc-ee's, but I don't know
we know
Sefco.
Buc-ee's too.
Yeah, Sefco. A lot of history behind Sefco. Look that
Okay,
up.
I'll look that up.
Yes, and we stopped, of course, at Buc-ee's. That was a mandatory stop.
Oh, it's always.
And it was hard to find a parking place, if you could imagine such a thing, at a Buc-ee's, because you know how big the parking lot is. And we did find a lot of Tesla chargers out there. We were wondering when they were going to click on to all of that. There
were 3 or 4 Teslas parked there getting a charge.
I love it.
But the point is, all the little towns in Claiborne and Cameron and all that coming up the back way. It's just amazing.
It was really good.
Actually graduated from high school in Cameron, and we have been state champions 3
I
times.
could see it written on your face. You're a Cameron girl.
Yeah.
Was it a Hornet or a Yellow Jacket?
It's a yo. It's yeoman, the yeoman, and it's not the yeoman like on a ship. It's spelled Y-O-E instead of Y-E-O.
Yo, baby. Well, what is that?
It's really interesting. It was a family that did not have children, and they had a baby that died, and it kind of destroyed their family. And so when they passed away in their older age, they left all their money to build a school. And so they needed to name it Yo something, so they put man on the end of it, Yo Man, and so, go, yo, go. So there you go.
There you go, yo.
I won't tell you all the jokes,
I'm sure there's many.
But it really was nice. It really was nice. I went to San Antonio High School, and I was an Army brat, and so I ended up there my last 2 years of high school because my grandmother had a pacemaker put in her heart, and we went to take care of her. So anyway, it was an adventure going from a 5A San Antonio school, a really cool school, to be at a 3A. But we won state football, so I guess it's not all bad, right?
It's not.
The priorities of Texas.
Right?
That's right.
Hey, thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Go and get on the road and go get that new grandbaby.
I'm so excited.
Any names yet?
Yes, they're naming it after Mike Dooley, not Tom.
Not Tom.
And so his
I'm
name.
going to get you. He's going to change his name. For
Yeah.
me.
Well, this is what's cute. His name will be Michael Alston Dooley, and I'm going to call him my little Mad Dooley because he'll be his initials.
M.A.D.
So yeah, my little Mad Dooley.
I love it.
And for all of our listeners, visit Granbury.com.
Yes.
Great wealth of information, good piece on all of the restaurants in town as well with links to their menus. Really good website.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, and y'all have a great stay.
We love you. Drive safe and stay in touch.
You bet.
Okay. Tammy Dooley. She's with the Convention and Visitors Bureau here at Granbury. All right, time now for the events calendar on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Conrad always has the events calendar, but I have to remind him this is events.
Yeah.
Are we at an event?
We are.
We are at an
There
event.
you go.
So also the let's see.
Also. Are you drilling?
Tomorrow is the car meetup at the Willis Discount Furniture. And
this is not the cruise in now.
No. You want events. Thank you.
That's why I said to you
June 24th,
from the very head of the
June 24th is the Lone Star Drift Round 3 at the Houston Police Academy. July 15th is the Texas Road to Revolution Cruise, starting at the Black Bear Diner in Humble, Texas. And then tomorrow, June 11th, is the Twin Peaks meet in the Woodlands at Twin Peaks Restaurant. That's always a big event. Lots and lots of folks show up for that. Some pretty good cars. You want to go see some cool cars, that's worth going to.
Mr. Mars has something that kind of ties in to us visiting Granbury.
What?
Yeah, and that is 5 road trip essentials. We could have used this yesterday, Mars.
We could have.
Absolutely.
Well, you don't know that absolutely.
No, yeah, I do. I made the list. So when you get ready to go on a road trip, I mean, there's lots of things you got to think about. You want to make sure your car's ready, and you want to make sure you got all your safety gear and stuff. But there's a few other things you really got to have. And this first thing I wanted to point out was an organizer that fits behind the seat. Mm-hmm. Now, this one fits behind the driver's seat, and you got one for the passenger seat. And you can the kids can put all kinds of things in these things. They got water bottles. They got places to put pencils, pens, toys, whatever you want.
So it's kind of like a backpack for the car.
Except it's right in front of them, so all they got to do is reach out of their car seat if they're in one and grab it, and so it'd be great to keep all their stuff in one place. But the second one is if you break down on the side of the road, used to you'd take flares, for safety flares, you have to fire them up. Well, these are LED flares that you can charge through your USB.
I've seen these.
This is a pack of 3. You can set them out, and they blink and they flash, and it's really great for a warning thing, and they don't take up very much room.
Only $19.95 for a set of 3. But wait, there's more.
Yes, there is more. There is more. There is a air compressor that's about the size of a paperback book. In fact, the one I have pictured here is the one I have, and I have it under the seat of the truck.
Did you get it free?
Nope. I wish. Amazon. And it works really well, and it doesn't take up much room. It will air up the tires without any problem. Basketballs, anything else your kids need done. But the really good one that you really need more than anything else is this fourth item. Now, it is a jump box is the easiest way to describe it. It's small. It's bigger than a paperback. The one I have is a little bit older than this one, but it's the same brand. and you connect it to your battery just like you do a jump cable, except you can push a button, and after you've charged it up with USB power, it will jump start your car. Now, it will also have, this particular one also has some USB ports. If your broke down, your phone's going dead, you can plug it in and charge your phone. And you can plug in flashlights, anything that runs off a USB port.
And I would imagine that you could probably jumpstart a human heart with that, couldn't you, if you did it the right way?
Well, if you clip those
the
cables
paddles
on the right place, you could.
Right on your nipples, right on there.
That's what I was thinking.
All right.
And
David.
this is a little more expensive. This will cost you over $100 to get one of these that'll actually jump start your car. But again, it does a lot of things if you're broke down on the side of the road to keep you safe and going. This last item is really super important, but it's really the easiest. Duct tape. You need a roll of duct tape. Now, you can get it in a roll like we have here.
And it comes in colors.
And the next picture is a picture of some flat. If you don't want to have a roll, you can get some flat. They do make some. It's not near as much of it. So you kind of
flat.
Yeah, it's kind of folded flat. Doesn't take up as much room as a roll. But then if you're not sure what you would do with duct tape in your car if you broke down, if you go to the next one, Jeff, please, you can tape up hoses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tape up hoses.
You have a water hose go out. You can tape it up.
It's AC pressure.
Put some water in there. It'll hold pressure for a little bit. And then the next one, if you injure yourself and you need to create a brace, here again, the duct tape will create an arm brace where you can hold your arm tight up against you like you're supposed to.
And pull all the hair off your arm later.
Yeah.
And your chest.
Yeah.
Well, except for you.
And then the next one, if you have a cut or something like that and you need to cover it up, you can duct tape it and protect that damaged place that you cut
Are
your
you really
fingers.
going to show the next picture?
Oh, yeah. And then if you really need one, if you need to make a mask for whatever reason,
Shut your mouth.
Pandemic
Tape your mouth.
catches you out in the middle of nowhere. And then the last one, you can also use it to beautify America.
No, we're going to beautify
we're
America.
gonna beautify America.
There you go. Let's see.
Oh, boy, yeah.
You can't see the last
That's Mars.
one.
No, that's you.
Well, you got to beautify America some way or another.
Very good,
So
Michael.
that's some things you can use duct tape for. And I, to be honest with you, I've actually heard of people actually making a belt, a water pump belt in an emergency, wrap it up and pretty thick to where can't dry very fast, but you can make a water pump belt out of it. So you got to have some duct tape. And if nothing else, you can always just duck it and go on.
I carry duct tape in my trunk with rope and a shovel.
Yeah, for those extra passengers you want to get rid of.
Call in your comments to 1-843-6572.
867-5309.
No, 1-843-6572.
Oh, that's the
Of
firing
the firing order.
Yeah.
Are we going to do that in this next half hour?
Whenever you let me. You
Well,
cut me
no,
off
but
last-
we have a guest.
last time.
Well, I know, but it's getting close to taking a break, and I don't want to start with him too early because
Right.
we'd have to cut him off, and I
Yeah,
don't
we
want to do
cut
that.
him off.
Whichever you want to do, Don.
We got
You're
duct
in
tape if
charge.
we cut him.
I'm not in charge of anything, except I am in charge of the clock.
One thing
Here's
we
the
want to
short-
do mention, we want to thank Portacool for this cooler that they gave us.
Portacool did that. Why don't you move it a little bit closer so we can actually feel it?
Well, I can feel it just
Yeah,
fine.
Well, I know, but that's
Me
down
and our
there.
guests can feel it.
I know.
All right,
Well,
I'll move it.
That's.
But I wanted
okay.
to mention him because it's a whole lot better than we had last year. Also, it's running off of our car generator. If you remember our guest last week,
Right.
you were
Yes.
paying attention.
Yeah.
He sent us a demo unit for a couple of weeks, and we are actually running this Portacool, a couple of the speakers and cameras off of that car generator.
You do need to move your truck closer then. I think
But your truck is powering that.
Correct.
Is the car
Or
is the truck running?
Yes. So the truck runs and creates the electricity.
The generator's using the power created by the alternator. of the
I
truck.
see.
Yeah.
So it's an inverter as well.
It's an inverter. To me, it's kind of like what Ford did with their Lightning truck, but he's got this portable unit that's really easy to use, and it's so far it's worked great.
Good. Well, I'm glad it's working for you.
Thank you, Portacooler.
I want to share a couple of things from you. This was kind of shocking to me. Advance Auto Parts had its worst weekly performance ever after a weak earnings report, and an accounting issue led to a slew of downgrades from Wall Street. Shares slumped 40% last week, the
Yikes.
largest 4-day drop since the stock began trading publicly in 2001.
Doing worse
Shares
than
tumbled
Budweiser.
35% on Wednesday, the largest one-day drop on record. Jeez.
Too bad I didn't sell short.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention the fact that Toyota could revive the venerable Land Cruiser nameplate in the U.S. as early as next year when it plans to introduce a redesign of the SUV's little brother, the Land Cruiser Prado. In bringing the rugged truck stateside, Toyota may simply drop Prado from the name and badge it as a Land Cruiser. The full-size Land Cruiser was discontinued in the U.S. after 21. The redesigned Lexus LX remained as the automaker's top luxury SUV, while the next-generation Toyota Sequoia took the Toyota brand's top spot for large SUV when it migrated onto the automaker's new global F1 platform for body-on-frame vehicles. Thought you'd like to know that because those are popular vehicles. All right. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available to you 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. And 30-minute podcasts are available at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
Live from the 48th Annual State Run of the Lone Star Street Rod Association at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we talk to more hot rodders here at today's event. Later, we'll look at the stories making automotive news headlines, including a little feature from Conrad. I believe we're going to do the car clinic in this hour. It's all coming up. Howdy along with Mike Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong, and let's not forget our chief engineer who's with us today here in Granbury, the fabulous, famous David Ainsley. Yeah. So thank you, David, for being here and for fixing the camera that
Almost blew away.
almost blew away. So there's that. Okay, Mr. Mars, we have a guest.
Yes, sir, we do. This is Mr. Ben Danford with his 1934 Buick Series 61. Now, this thing looks like it's got a lot of original, but it's not.
Well,
It's a hot rod.
he's lost his Mike's sock.
Well, I had an extra one out here, but I don't know where it went.
Do you have it? Here you go. Pass that along, please. There you go. The music, thank you so much. It's okay. Well, we've had a little, I know. It's okay. We got this. We're on a remote facility here, you know. Have you been eating any of that popcorn? Not yet. Okay. Well, we're going to try that. There you go.
Wait
All
till
right.
the show.
You want to try the intro again, Mr. Mars?
Ben Danford with his
Dan.
Danford.
Hello, Ben.
Danford.
Hi.
1935 Buick Series 61.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm waiting for somebody with the gangster fedora. I mean, sir, that is absolutely a stunningly beautiful gangster car. The only thing that tips it off that it's a hot rod are the wheels. And
Yeah.
I love it, and I also truly appreciate the chrome on it.
I'm
Nice.
thinking Elliott Ness.
It's all original except for the running gear, the motor, the transmission, the rear.
And so let's go with that.
The body is totally original.
Wow. Well, it's not the original paint job, I can tell you that.
No, it's not.
So what has it got under the hood?
It's got a 427 Chevrolet. I came out of a vet.
Oh, wow.
A 427 in it. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Is it carbureted?
Yes. it's
Carbureted
carburet-
427. Old school.
Old school.
Love that. Yeah.
Me too,
Yeah.
me too.
So when did you get into hot rodding?
Oh, shoot. Right after I graduated high school.
I was going to fill that in for you.
Yeah, and I've been with the Lone Star Run Association since 94,
Yep.
1994.
Nice. So you've been there for a while. Now, where do you live?
I live in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
you're not
so
too
you're not
far
that far away.
No, I'm right up the street.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Did you drive it up here?
Yes,
With the trailer.
with the trailer.
I love the trailer hitch on it as well.
And the wheels that match.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Those
It's all
kind of cars didn't have
coordinated.
much trunk room back in those days.
It's got a bustle back trunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can put a couple of shirts and a pair of pants in there. That's about it.
Yeah, no
Now,
doubt.
I've driven that car all the way to Louisville, Kentucky, and back about 3 times.
Really?
I bet you
Yeah.
it attracts a lot of attention on the highway.
Oh, yes. And with the long wheelbase, it rides real smooth, too.
Yeah. Rides like a cat.
And it's got a huge back seat, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is it like more along the lines of like a living room sofa back there in the back?
I'm afraid so.
No, don't be afraid of
and
it.
I like
It'll put you to sleep.
the rear suicide door too. I like
Yes.
that.
And it's got a beautiful leather interior.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did
Yeah.
you buy the car like this, or did you do this yourself?
No, I've redone it. When I bought the car, it was running. Now, I've redone everything except the upholstery. I've repainted it. I've redone the motor, the transmission, and the rear end.
Well, listen, I'll be the first to admit I am not an upholstery man.
Me neither. Me neither.
And I know some people that do upholstery, and they are truly talented and gifted in a way
yes.
I am not.
It's fantastic.
The
But
rest
when
of it,
you
when you
pull-
say you painted it, you did it yourself. You had it done.
No,
or-
I had it done.
Okay.
I'm not a painter.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
when
had
you
it done.
pulled in, the first time you pulled in, everybody stopped to look at the car. It's
You're actually next to the.
gorgeous.
You're in the hotel next to us.
Right.
You parked it a lot, like across 3 lane or 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw that
That's-
this morning.
Yes.
Because you ain't getting that in a parking
No.
spot.
Now it takes up about 3 spaces with the trailer.
Yeah,
2 without the trailer.
you did a good job with it. I saw that.
Thank you.
What is that, about 40 feet long?
Oh, I've never measured it, but it's pretty long.
Yeah, I bet it rides like a dream.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of old cars back in the 30s and the 20s, short wheelbase, they rode kind of choppy like.
Right.
But if you get the ones that are longer, it rides smoother.
Now, has this thing got the original chassis underneath it?
Yes,
Frame and stuff.
original frame, except I took the front end from all the way across and had a modern day front end built and put under there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because
I tried to install ride with the original front end, but it just wouldn't work. I replaced all the parts on the original front end, but it still didn't ride good for me.
Yeah.
I'm used to a certain kind of a ride.
Sure.
But
And that's a heck of a ride.
yes, it is.
It's breathtakingly beautiful.
It rides
fact-
great.
And it's cool because it's a Buick,
yes.
as opposed to everybody does the old
Fords
Fords
and
Chevys.
Chevrolets.
Yeah.
That's another thing. In this part of the country, that's all you're going to find in old cars and Fords and Chevrolets. But when you go up north and Illinois and up around there, you find the bigger cars. I don't know if it was because of the people or what, but they had bigger cars up there than they had in the
Gangsters.
South.
So
Gangsters.
how did you find this car?
I looked it up in the Auto Trader and called the guy, and then I took a plane fare up there and looked at it and drove it, and I liked it. And he was ready to get rid of it, so he
Bought
had
it, trailered it back, or drove it back?
No, they shipped it back. They shipped it to me in a van and stuff.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Did you grow up in Waco?
Wait a minute. I was born in Los Angeles, but I was raised in Waco. I guess we moved back here when I was about 3 or 4 years old.
What did you do once you got out of high school for a living?
I went to work for HUD, Federal Housing Urban.
Urban
Yeah.
Housing and Urban Development.
Yes,
Yeah.
as an architect. And I graduated Prairie View as an architect, and went to work for them, and enjoyed it.
So you designed public housing.
Yes.
Nice.
Did a lot of inspections. I had a 5-state territory: Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana.
Wow. So you were busy back in the day. I assume you're
Oh, yeah.
retired now.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I've been retired for about 20 years.
And there is your project.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like old cars. I've always liked old cars.
I think you're in the right spot here.
Yeah.
Liking these old cars.
No doubt.
Well, and Mike says that you are also Street Rodder of the Year.
Yeah, this year here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back
Thank
in
you.
December, the association selected him as Street Rodder of the Year for all his participation, his vehicle, his support of the sport of street rodding.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I've enjoyed street riding. You meet a lot of nice people,
Yes.
and
very much so.
and it's everywhere.
So do you go on these by yourself, or do you bring family or friends?
No,
with
I got
you,
my
or?
wife with me, and
Okay.
my grandson and my son.
Oh, how
They're
cool
with
is
me.
that?
Yeah, they're all with me today, and my wife won't let me go by myself.
Oh,
What, she doesn't trust you or what?
She don't trust me.
He might come home with another car.
That's it.
Yeah.
a couple.
Do you ever show that in like the Dallas Autorama or anything?
I used to, not that one, but ones I had before then.
Oh, you've had more.
Oh yeah, I've had about 3 or 4 different cars.
Is this your favorite?
Yes, and I got a '64 Impala Super Sport, just like that one there. It's red on the outside and white on the inside.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
Nice.
In
Real
that shape too,
desirable
right?
car.
In that shape? I mean.
Oh
body
yeah,
is all-
restored.
oh,
Yes, it's in good shape. I drive it anywhere too.
You say, I bet you that attracts a lot of attention. too.
Yeah,
So when you selling that one?
I can't sell either one of them because I promised that to
his
my
son and his
wife,
grandson.
and I promised the red one to my grandson. Yeah,
Good for you. How
Very
old's your
nice.
grandson?
he's 11.
11. Oh, the
Right.
time is ripe.
Yeah.
Man,
Great
I
to
mean-
see him get
Yeah.
involved in the sport, too.
Oh yes,
Got
yes.
the itch.
Is he interested?
A little bit. He's mostly interested in horses. In fact, he's been invited to the Nationals in Las Vegas
Oh, wow.
this year to participate in his age group for.
Really?
It's like a rodeo, or?
Oh yes, it's a rodeo.
National finals.
Right.
Well, good for him. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. And I assume
Quite an
that-
achievement.
Yeah.
Something to be real proud
He went
of.
last year and he's going back again this year.
Now, is he in
He's
Waco with you guys?
No, he lives in a town called Montgomery, which is south of Waco.
Okay.
It's down there by Huntsville.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know
Montgomery,
where that
Texas.
is.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Yeah, it's down there.
It's just west of the Woodlands.
Right. He just came up. It's his second or third time coming up here to go to the car show with me, and he likes the cars.
So what do you haul in the trailer? What's in the trailer?
It's a one of these handicapped scooters, about as long as the trailer.
That
but
folds
it gets
down.
Yeah, it folds in the trailer, and I ride it around on the car shows and
very
swap
cool.
meets. I can't walk around.
Sure.
So I had to get one of those scooters to ride.
It's
Very
a great
nice.
looking
That's pretty
combination.
cool.
The,
Yeah. Yeah.
I built that trailer myself.
Oh wow.
Seriously.
I
It
searched around for a trailer,
it's got some of the same curves as the car, so
Right,
you did a real
right.
nice job of it.
and I bought some fenders that look like the fenders
Yeah.
that are on there,
Yeah, exactly.
and put them on the trailer.
Good eye.
Did
Yeah,
you?
good
Did
eye.
you? Is that an aftermarket fender?
Yes, I think it came off of a 41 Ford pickup.
Dude, you'd be hard pressed not to say that is not the same fender as that
I
rear
know.
fender
Yeah,
on that
you have
car.
to look.
Nice.
You have to look real
Got the
close.
same flare at the back.
Let's back up, fellas. He was an architect.
Well, he
So
was
let's back
that.
that
Got the
up.
eye.
That's what he. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He sees style.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's also the concrete, the lumberman. He's
Yep.
all of those things. And sometimes that transfers, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
but
that's
not
true.
upholstery.
But
Not
he doesn't
upholstery.
do. He doesn't do
Not
upholstery.
upholstery. I don't do upholstery.
So how long have you had the car now?
Going over about 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. I mean, you haven't had it resprayed or anything.
Yeah, I've had to repaint it.
Oh, you have had.
Yeah,
Okay. What
But it-
color is it?
It's black.
Black. Okay.
Black. Yeah.
I know that was a stupid question,
Well, no,
but I
because
can't
there
tell
are
whether
a
it's
lot of
dark.
dark greens.
I thought so, Don.
And a lot of blues that
Shut up.
also they're reflected depending on what the sun hits.
Well,
it.
and there's different shades
Yep.
too. So yeah.
The flop.
The flop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, and not just the wheels on the car and the trailer, but the spare.
Yeah.
All the wheels are matched on it.
Now let me.
Originally, when you bought a car back in them days and you had the spares on the fenders, it had all 6 tires. The rims looked alike. Was the same, yeah. So I wanted to do the same thing with
Because those fenders are options, because those cars didn't originally come with
these. Yeah.
wheels on the
Not
the
all.
side.
See, okay, that's another thing too. Back in those days, when they were making these kind of cars, they made about 6 different styles. Okay, now you can buy a style without those spares in the fenders.
Right.
You couldn't. And I just like the ones with the spares.
Oh,
in the
I
fender.
agree.
yeah.
I think it really adds a little some panache.
Now,
to
if
the
you didn't
car.
get the spares in the fender, you got a spare on the back side.
Correct.
No,
One.
no, no.
One.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This one, I believe that you could get 2, one on
Right.
either side.
One on each side.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Now
That's
I
true.
have to ask you
Okay.
about the hood ornament.
That's original.
Oh my God!
Yes, that's
Everybody and his mother would want that.
Oh yes.
I'd like to put that on my car. I got a Corvette.
Now,
It would look good on the Corvette,
yeah.
don't you think?
I think so. A lot of old big cars had those kind of
Yeah.
hood ornaments.
I know, but
You know, with the woman out there.
the woman
Yeah.
with the wings, yes,
Yes.
yeah. And now, what model is this?
It's a 61 series. Buick
Six-
call it.
Buick
call it
61.
a 61
Because
series.
Cadillac had the
Yeah, they have a series
62,
too.
I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
They have different series.
yes.
James Cagney. This reminds me of.
James Cagney, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is stunningly beautiful. You know, the other thing about those cars, the running boards on them, you just take them for granted but those were there for a purpose, and they were a rust infestation for the rest of the
because
car.
the water puddled on them.
Yeah,
That's
And-
correct.
Yeah, and you know, to have one with all of the original stuff on it, it's truly remarkable. I mean,
Yes,
I
it
love
is.
it. Love
And,
that
and the
thing.
chrome's perfect. For what I can see, the chrome looks perfect.
It is.
on it.
It's in good shape.
Well, chrome and stainless.
Yeah.
A lot
They
of
had
stainless
Well, yeah,
on
it
it.
was stainless
Right.
back then, but
Yeah.
still, it's
We call it chrome, but a lot of it was stainless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful car.
Well, thank
Now,
you.
are you in competition here today? No. You just show up and enjoy the camaraderie.
Yes.
So not the competition, but camaraderie.
Right. A lot of these guys I haven't seen since last year. So
Yeah.
I like seeing them.
Yeah, you're not the first one to say that. Your chairman of the board said the exact same words.
Same words.
Yeah, exactly. And
kind of a family outing. Everybody's family gets
Oh,
together
yeah.
once a year at the Rod Run.
yeah,
You,
well.
you get to see a lot of friends and people that you've seen last year. You don't see them.
Okay, now I got to ask you, what are you going to do tonight?
I'm going to go take my family out to dinner.
Where you going to go? You know?
You ever heard of a place called Babe's? It specializes in chicken, fried chicken.
No.
I saw it
it's
on the list
fantastic.
of restaurants.
It's fantastic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we went downtown on the square last evening, and we went to a place called Christina's. Ooh.
Babe's is on the it's
on the
around
square?
in that area down
Yeah.
there. Yes.
Yeah, there was a couple of sides we didn't really get to.
No, I know. We didn't
Yeah.
get too adventurous.
No.
Well, we were all tired. I mean, you know, the 5-hour trip up here, and you know, it was a long day yesterday. And by the end, once we had a belly full of food, nighty night.
Yep.
There's that. Well, listen, Ben, it's great to talk to you.
Thanks for
And
showing us your
I've
car.
enjoyed it.
What
I
a
really
what
enjoyed
a
it.
wonderful car, and sounds like you got a great family. And
I do.
enjoy the rest of the time.
Okay, and nice meeting you, gentlemen.
Thank
Nice
you,
meeting
sir.
you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
By the way, everybody, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We thank you for riding with us today. We do have
Ben,
what?
I want to get his headphones
Yeah.
off
Oh,
before
I
he
got-
walks
yeah.
off, and it pulls him.
I've got to turn the page here because I don't remember. We're going to do the car clinic.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Conrad? Are you
Sure.
up to it?
If you let me, I'll go.
Well,
there.
yeah.
You take your time. I get it loaded.
Because
you had asked a couple of weeks ago to do it on crankshafts,
correct.
and I started with piston rings, and then we did pistons last week or 2 weeks ago, and connecting rods last week. So now we're to the crankshaft.
The crankshaft, and because Conrad can get really technical on some of this stuff, let me just start off by saying there are crankshafts, and then there's this new thing. It's not new, but new to me, called a flat plane crank.
And that's what I'm going to show you.
Right.
The difference between a cross plane and a flat plane crankshaft is the two crankshaft designs that are out there. For the most part, cross plane crankshafts dominate, especially in the American V8 engines, while a flat plane typically show up in high-end European exotics and full race cars. The cross plane crankshaft has a rod journal every 90 degrees. And that's what attributes that distinctive rumble that you hear in an American muscle car.
Now, wait just a minute. Run that by me one more time. It has a journal every 90 degrees of what?
Of the pictures will show up, and in the pictures it'll show you a look of what the crankshaft looks like from an end view.
Right.
So every 90 degrees is a
see.
rod journal.
Yes.
In a flat plane crankshaft, it's each rod journal is 180 degrees out. So
they oppose each other.
They oppose each other, but they sequence the firing order in a way that it's continuously pushing the crankshaft around.
So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
No, like yes, to a degree, but the difference is, you hear, and we heard this 64 Chevy pull in behind us, that rumble you hear in the big engines. When you hear a flat plane crankshaft, it has more of a sewing machine song
Correct.
to it.
Yes.
Because everything's pushing in sequence, and you don't get this what I call the oddness of the exhaust pushing against each other,
Right.
which is what creates the rumble. And that's just in the design of how the airflow comes in and out of the engine and how the firing order works.
Well, doesn't a flat plane crank, can it not rev higher than?
It revs a lot higher because it's lighter. When you have the cross plane crank, that 90-degree crankshaft, you have to put a lot of counterbalances in it, so there's a lot of weight in the crankshaft.
Right, you're
to make
spinning
sure
around in there.
It manages the vibration that it can create.
Yep.
In a flat plane, it's got a lot of what's called primary, or a very controlled primary vibration, but it's got a little bit higher secondary vibration. So as the RPMs come up, there can be some vibration in a flat plane crankshaft that you don't see in a typical cross plane crankshaft. But it gets to speed much faster because it's probably about 60% lighter than a cross plane crankshaft, just because they don't have to build so much.
60% lighter?
Just because they don't have to build so much counterbalance journals in it.
And they're forged.
Oh, yeah. But that's where that noise comes from, is because it's endlessly, each firing of the cylinder is just endlessly pushing the crankshaft around, where in a cross-plane crankshaft, you've got one side of the engine pushing, then the other side of the engine pushing, and it's something Keith Black was very famous for in his design or redesign of the Hemi. Was he actually changed the firing order of a Hemi to make more power in the 2 and 7 firing order. He moved those around, and that's why the Keith Black Hemis are that much more powerful.
Can I take an old Chevy V8, let's say a 327, with an old standard crankshaft, and put a flat plane crank in it?
No, because the cradle where the crankshaft goes isn't designed for it. So the flat plane crankshaft is it's more than just the crankshaft. It's pretty much the whole engine.
Yeah.
But, that's what gives that distinctive noise. When you hear that 12-cylinder Ferrari go by at speed, that noise, that sewing machine sound is the flat plane crankshaft that's in it. And that's really where the big difference is. But, you see flat plane crankshafts typically are in high-end Europeans, the V12s, the Ferrari V8s and stuff. But now you're starting to see the domestics starting to use it. Ford put a flat plane crankshaft in the GT350 Mustang about 3 or 4 years ago. And that, if you hear one of those, you know what it is.
Well, you know who has
the
one.
Tone,
or had one. John Gray.
Yeah, because the tone of the engine is different.
Yes, very much.
And now the new Corvette race car, the C8R, has a flat plane in it, and the new Z06 has a flat plane in it.
So why are they just now introducing that or allowing us to buy that outside of racing?
I think it's because the buying community is more acceptable to that kind of technology. There isn't any durability and dependability issues with it, but technologically it's expensive to build that engine. So now people are willing to pay more. You got to look at a new Z06. Besides all the crazy dealer markup going on, it's north of $100,000.
Right. So how much more money would it add to have a flat plane crank engine?
If you just look at the Corvette itself, it's about $25,000.
$25,000 extra for the motor
for the regular V8 with the cross-plane crankshaft versus the Z06 with the flat plane. Now, there's a lot of other stuff added to it, but it's about $25,000 difference, and then the craziness of dealer markup and stuff. So, when you look at the pictures that are popping up, that end view of the crankshaft really shows you the difference of a cross-plane
I had no
crankshaft.
clue.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Real high technology, and the balance issue is an issue, but it's not a.
Do they still have a harmonic balancer on it?
Oh yeah.
Do they still have a flywheel on it?
Yep, it still has a flywheel, and they still have some counterweights on them, but the counterweights are 60% the size of the counterweights that you have on a crossplane.
So
and that's where the weight savings is, and that weight savings in the crankshaft is what allows it to come up in RPMs faster.
Of course,
because you don't have weight to
you don't have to move all that mass.
Reciprocating weight.
Yeah.
And as well as all that mass help or lack of mass helps in the fuel performance of it as well.
Well, thank you very much. I always love these segments.
That's pretty cool.
We'll have to come up with something really good next week. Ford Motor Company recalling 125,000 crossovers and trucks in the U.S. due to the risk of an engine compartment fire, according to NHTSA. The recall,
a thermal event.
Thermal event,
yep.
which expands on a similar recall from a year earlier, covers some Escape and Lincoln Corsair crossovers and Maverick compact pickup trucks manufactured 20 and 23, equipped with a 2.5-liter hybrid plug-in hybrid motor. So that's an ugly thing. The other recalls including, GM, high-voltage battery connections improperly welded on the Cadillac Lyriq at GMC Hummer EV.
No.
Mm-hmm. Jaguar.
The good news is Lyriqs aren't really out there very much yet.
Jaguar Land Rover high-voltage battery may overheat in the Jaguar I-Pace 2019 through 2024.
Jaguar with a problem? Never heard of it.
Don't even go there.
It's my shocked look.
Yeah, shocked. Improperly secured
From
rear
an electric
seat.
car.
Improperly secured rear seat belt fastener on the Nissan Rogue for 2023. Incorrect load carrying capacity label. Bronco, F-250, and Ranger. Go get me a sticker, and I'll stick it right over the top of that old thing in there.
That's what it is.
For about $100.
$100, yeah.
But you got to bring it to the
You got
dealership.
to take it to the
get it
dealer.
done, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, we can't get to that right
Yeah,
now.
we're
Give
too
me the
busy.
sticker. Oh
It'll
no,
be
sir,
3
we can't.
weeks.
We can't let you do that yourself. We have to do that. Well, here, can you come and watch me put it on there? No, we can't do that. We have to have a mechanic do that. And they probably get,
certified, qualified person.
they probably get 0.5 hours for putting a sticker on the car.
Yeah.
And then it's recalled.
Again, for the second or third time. We would love to hear from you anytime you want to get in touch with us. Shoot us an email. Our address is info@inwheeltime.com.
Or call us at 1-844-6572.
No.
1-843-6572. No.
867-5309. Quick
Yeah,
break
use
now, then we're right back.
867-5309.
You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
We are live from the 48th Annual State Run of the Lone Star Street Rod Association here at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas. Welcome. This is the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, more street rod participants at today's event. I got to drive the 2023 Jeep Gladiator, which would have been a great tow vehicle for anything that's here today.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you my impression of it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll also have a couple of stories making automotive news headlines this week. All just ahead in this hour of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars.
Yeehaw.
King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Joining us today in the engineering department is David Ainsley.
And his girlfriend, Donna.
Donna's here as well, and Jeff's wife, Kathy, is here. We're just having a good old time in Granbury, Texas. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Mr. Mars has another guest for us.
Yeah, buddy. This is what I call an example of a classic hot rodding. It's a 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air. It's got the Krager spokes on it, chrome spokes, and Jerry Rogers knows all about it.
I want you to know that I had a cousin of mine. Her husband had a black and white 54.
Yes, sir.
And it was cherry and lived in Birmingham, Alabama. And I don't know whatever happened to it. He died. But at any rate, what a great car that was. And it had a 3 on the tree and a 6-cylinder in it. That one?
That one did originally when I first found it.
So it had the 235 Blue Flame 6 in it.
Yes, sir, it sure did.
Yeah, with a 3-speed on the column.
Yes. Yes,
classic and a smooth.
Which a millennial would have no idea how to drive.
Correct.
Well, my daughter would.
Yeah.
The 3 on the tree?
Probably.
I know she can drive a manual, but a 3 on a tree, it's a little bit different.
Well,
my 2 kids, when I bought the car, we got it running, just barely running on the 6-cylinder. Well, they both drove it with the standard shift, and they were young then.
Yeah.
And now they're both capable of doing, driving whatever.
So why did
burnouts
you take the 6-cylinder out of it?
That was just a plan that I had all along. I originally took my driver test at 16 in my grandmother's 53 Chevrolet.
Yep, very similar.
And I raced the dirt cars for about 10 or 12 years and tore up a bunch of 55s and 57s. And the 54 was such a change from 54 to 55. And I went with this, and I wanted the 350 or a V8 in it instead of that. And that's how it came out. That's the way it is. It's been built.
So what do you have in it?
It's got a 350, a little stock 350 with a 700R overdrive, and it's got a 10-bolt out of a Nova in the rear.
I'll bet you that thing goes down the hot rod highway here. It would just
smooth
like
as glass.
It cruises. It'll cruise 70 pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes,
air conditioning.
Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah, the wife, she said, I'm not going unless you get some air in there.
Well, and that's a generation of car, because to me, I look at the car, the style, but also the engineering in that car, because when you look at the glass on that car, that was kind of an era where glass was changing.
Yes.
Because glass prior to this, tended to be relatively flat.
Yep.
It didn't have these big, huge bows in it. That rear glass is got probably about a 90-degree bow, so it bows about 180 degrees from side to side.
It's got some curves.
It's got some curves. It's gorgeous.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
the interior,
yes, sir.
Does it have the tube radio AM in it that's about, it's about a foot wide and a foot tall?
I still have a radio. This car didn't come with a radio in it. It had the cap over the dash.
Yeah.
And
did it have a heater delete in it too?
It had a heater.
It had a heater, not the heater delete.
What I don't know about the delete.
Delete. In other words, it
can be ordered without a heater.
Okay. Yes. This one had a heater.
Got it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
But no radio.
No, sir. And it did have turn signals, and that worked. So.
Was that an option?
I think it was factory with this. On the column.
And generationally, the Bel Air was the top of the line Chevrolet available in its day.
In 54 and 53 and 54, I believe, yes, it was.
Well, I have to ask, where did you get that car? Where did you buy it? Where did you find it?
How'd you find it?
I live in Waco, and live outside of Waco now. And going through Thrifty Nickel or something, and saw where
Thrifty Nickel.
Yes, sir. And saw where there was an ad for a 54 Chevrolet and $300.
$300.
Oh, you're kidding me!
Yeah,
what was it? A barn?
No, it was sitting out in a guy's backyard. Did
it run?
It had fender skirts. My wife pulling me down one of the main streets. I did get it to fire on the way home. She was pulling me with a chain, so that was a real.
I'd have liked to have seen that.
Oh, the kids will tell you the story if you ever ask them.
Well, you obviously are embarrassed a little bit by it or something because
it didn't really bother me.
No.
Nah. And it had
Did Mama know how to pull a car that is chained to another one?
I told her, I said, if the light changes, just go on through it. And that chain, it went to yellow, and sure enough, she didn't stop. She went on, and
because all I can think of is having somebody pulling you that's never pulled another car before.
She's pretty good. She had pulled previously on some events. Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, sir. No, she was pretty good at it at the time. Nowadays, I don't know, after however many years it's been,
How long have you had it?
Bought it in 1984.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You've had it a long time.
Yes, and the car came out of the paint shop in 1991. So.
And are those the production colors of it, or did you recolor
It's close.
it?
It's close. 53 and 54 had a brown and a white. like this, and I thought, well, I like that.
No, I like that.
I like the combination. It looks
and I
real
went
nice.
with that's a metallic Ford truck brown. Excuse me, and then it's a Nova or something tan.
I love it.
So
The color
well,
combination is beautiful.
Thank you much.
Yeah, yeah. And now, did you do all the work on it?
I did everything but the paint and the interior. I built everything.
So what's the front end under it?
It's still got the stock.
Does it really?
A-arms and everything. I put a rack and pinion on it. Did all of that to it, and it's got power disc brakes on the front.
Yeah, so the front discs.
Chassis Engineering just happened to sell a kit that bolted up to that thing.
There you go.
So,
yeah. And has it got the original steering wheel in it?
It does.
It does. Have you had it redone, or did it need to be done?
The guy that painted the car for me redid the wheel, and it's still since '91.
Oh wow, that's a talent.
Yes, and that was with the PPG paint Deltron.
Yep.
That's what they used on it. So
yeah.
It's held up really good.
Then what radio did you wind up putting in there?
Got one of the new one that I don't know how to operate.
I got you.
Got to get the kids in to change the channel.
Grandkids, get the grandkids.
Yeah, it's probably got Bluetooth in it and stuff like that.
I believe it does.
And the clock flashes 12, kind of like my VCR at home.
Yeah.
Betamax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, is this your only hot rod that you've ever had?
This is the first one I built after I quit the dirt racing. And that's what I tell the funny. I mean, since I've built it, I haven't cut a tire or knocked a fender off of it. It's didn't come off the racetrack.
Is your wife here?
Yes, she's somewhere.
Can she hear us right now?
Oh, she knows everything.
Does she?
You usually do, right?
You just ask her.
They all do.
Because I was going to ask you, like, kind of under the breath, how much money do you think you've put into that car since you bought it for
Not enough.
$300?
You know, I really initially, when it was built and first driven, when it hit the road in '91, it didn't have a lot of money in it. The paint job was not that expensive then compared to now.
Right.
And the interior, I think $1,000 for the interior, everything that was done.
Oh wow!
And the guy needed some tax money, so it worked out.
Headliner, door cards, and seat covers.
Everything, yes, sir.
Has it got the stock seats in it?
Yes.
I love that.
I did not put the bars or the things on the back of the seats where you could pull to get up there. They're not in there.
I like the location of the rearview mirrors on the outside. I like
Thank
that.
you.
Is that stock?
I don't know. I added
I'm
those.
thinking it is.
I didn't want them out off of the door somewhere, so I just hung them up there. It's
it looks stock.
That looks cool.
Thank you.
And the chrome looks real good from where I'm at.
It's got most all of the it's stainless is basically what all that is on the side, and it pretty much is original parts that were on it. You can straighten it out and polish it and make it look pretty good. So yeah.
And then the classic Craigers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, somebody had posted just this week, or was it a magazine? Might have been a Hot Rod magazine. I don't recall, but it was a picture of Craigers. The original Hot Rod wheel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I've never heard it put that way before, but that's to me.
And you were the odd duck if you had the Keystones or the ARs.
I love
cheapos.
Keystones. I wanted Keystones on my Nova, but I
yeah.
ended up with a Krager style five
There
spoke.
you go. Yep, Keystones. Sure
Yeah.
were. And
Dating yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
How's the trunk?
trunk is it's got the interior. I had it done inside it also.
Does it have that old rubber pad in there with
It
that
does.
funky looking pattern on it?
It's got a
Houndstooth.
grooved, kind of a grooved.
Yep.
Yes, sir. It's got that in.
Is it black?
Yes, it is.
Black.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course there was some sheet metal work that had to be done to it.
Did you
but,
do any research on it to find out anything about the serial number, when it was built, where it was built, that sort of thing?
I looked at the numbers on there, but didn't go into any detailed look on the thing.
So
Sure didn't.
transmission in it?
It's got the 700 overdrive.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
it makes it real comfortable on the
It
highway.
does. It does. Yeah. I built it with the turbo 350, and then decided that the 700 was the way.
Do you
to go.
have headers on them?
No. I've got the stock cast iron exhaust.
Yeah. Is it dual exhaust?
The,
Yes,
the Ram horns.
Well, it's actually an 78 or 80 model truck exhaust manifold. They dump at the back, and it's worked out to be a pretty good
Oh, yeah.
deal. So
Bulletproof.
Does
Good
it
engineering.
Does it overheat?
not now. It used to. I bought a new Walker radiator and put in it years ago, and that helped.
Is it
And
an aluminum radiator?
No, it's a copper.
Yep.
And
Old school.
it seems to run pretty good. I mean, in town, cruising, going slow.
And it's hard to find a copper radiator anymore.
I believe it
Everything's
is,
gone
yes.
aluminum.
and or plastic.
Plastic.
Now, did you drive it up here from Waco?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yes.
You don't trailer it anywhere.
I trailered it last year to Cruising the Coast. And
I see you also got your Hot Rod Power Tour hat on.
yes, sir. I've done 2 of those.
Yeah? You got to do this one?
We did this car twice in both of them.
Yeah.
That car in 2005 was driven from Waco to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, down to Kissimmee, Florida, and back home. So it's
That's
got
good. That's a
got
good
some-
Pretty good
haul.
little drive.
It's good road time.
Did the wife go with you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Those
Yeah.
are fun trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moving in and every day in and out was kind of a
Pain.
load and unload.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But that's that's part of the deal.
Just
Yeah.
learn how to travel.
Yeah.
Thank you. This way, Rick. This way.
Oh, it's-
because he is
He's selfish.
He is. And look where it's sitting. Way over there, so we can't feel anything over here in the heat.
I
Yeah,
can,
I did.
That's
And he chose to put that over there on that end.
I can feel him back there.
Yeah.
I can. Oh, there you are.
There he is.
Yep.
So how long have you been a member of Lone Star Street Rods?
Probably 12, 14 years,
Yeah.
something like that.
Why'd you join?
We got into it with a couple of friends and joined up, and it was originally down at Fredericksburg, and we went down there a couple of 3 times, and it was fun, coming and gathering and
Yeah.
seeing everybody and
Seeing the same people year after
there you
year,
go,
kind of
and
catching up.
meet new ones next year, and just that's pretty much
You
it.
bet.
It's the car people are they're just
And I asked the other gentleman, do you keep the same spot? Do you show your vehicle in the same area of the park?
When we travel, we pretty much go as a club. We're Heart of Texas Old Car Club out of Waco,
Sure.
and I think we've got about 10 of us that came.
So
up
where
here.
the group goes is
So you
everyone
all
goes.
kind of
group, it's
run
a
together.
So you had your
Right
own
over
Hot Rod Power Tour on the way up here.
Kind of did, yes, sir. Yes,
Kind
sir.
of did. That's how they talk.
you ever-
Kind of did.
Have you ever heard of the thing called the Hot Rod Tour of Texas?
We were talking about that a few minutes ago. It just happened last week, didn't it? 2
Well,
weeks
last
ago?
month.
Last month.
Last month,
April.
yeah.
We've
April
got some
it
friends
was, actually.
that did it, and
You
they
need to
enjoyed
do
it.
it. Come and join us next year.
We've thought about that. We were at Pate Swap Meet talking about that.
It's a ton of fun. And it's all different kinds of cars. Hot rods. I took my 01 Corvette. Everybody's welcome.
Sure.
And
Sounds fun.
yeah,
couple of
it is.
supercars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you do the drive-in theater.
the drive-in theater.
There's a drag strip they go to.
This year we went over to what's the name of that the hot rod shop? Samson.
Samson. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Incredible.
Have you ever heard of Samson's?
Have not.
They built a brand new place, brand new facilities.
Where are they located
State
at?
of the
Right off of
art.
35.
Off of 35 there in
In
New
Braunfels.
Yeah. It is something.
Incredible.
So they got the hot rod. They do all the engine work and the custom stuff across the street, and then they've got it divided up into 2 camps on the same piece of property. It's a beautiful facility and extremely talented young people,
All family.
all family that you go, wow! I didn't know that they still existed.
That's good.
The
It
engine
is.
builder is 33, I believe he said, and he's responsible for building the fastest engine in a Corvette on a land speed.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Wow.
You would be very impressed if you ever get an opportunity. Go down there and check that out.
Sure will.
Yeah, we really enjoyed our time there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah,
good.
and we sure enjoy our time talking to you today.
Well, thank
so
you guys
what
for
are you
doing
gonna?
this.
What are you and the wife doing tonight?
We probably, I don't know, probably sit on the porch out on the back where the lake is, and we got some friends that they have a guitar and they pick and do some.
Kind of like Andy
nice.
Griffith.
Kinda. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Barney may show up.
yeah,
We have our own party.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you,
Thank
and
you.
we love your car.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
it has a spot in my heart for that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
and
guys.
you say you still got that 235.
No, I do not anymore.
Oh, you did you sell it?
Yes, sir.
You did.
The transmission engine all went somewhere. I forget where, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Turned
Well,
it
I
into
had
cash.
a 1954 Chevrolet 3/4 ton pickup truck with a 235 Blue Flame 6 in it, and it came somehow with a utility bed on the back of it. You know, with the boxes and all.
Sure.
And I only drove it for a very short period of time. It was my first car. It was given to me, and it was from up north, and it was full of rust holes. I wound up taking the body off of it, and then I started jacking with the engine, and I put an Offenhauser 2-carb setup on the intake, 2 Rochester 1-barrels, the same 1-barrel that came with it, but I just added one to it, and I put a hot cam in it, and that thing would fly. It had more torque than you can imagine, and I loved it. It had a Granny 4-speed in it. First gear, I mean, it would pull down any of these trees in here. But it was a great engine, and loved it, and I cut my teeth on that one. So
I've got a 55 first series that I built and I pro streeted it, so it's a toy.
Yeah, love it. Well, we hope to run into you again soon.
Sure will.
It was a real pleasure.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much. Okay, I got to turn the page here. Give me just a minute, if you will, please. Oh, it's time for my car review.
Yes, it is.
Because Mr. Mars cheated today.
What?
He cheated.
Yeah, he didn't do a review.
He didn't do a review because
he's running around.
Well, no, he
just moved the air conditioning so it could blow on you. Cool you off, Don, because you're such a hottie.
He's backtracking now.
I know.
I didn't such a hottie last night at the restaurant.
I'll tell you what, let's do the cruise-in calendar first before I get to my car review, shall we?
We got time.
Because you were trying to do the cruise-in calendar before.
Yeah.
But you had screwed that all up, and it was a mess, is what you did. Cruise-in calendar. Okay, go.
So, again, tomorrow at 8 a.m. is the Car Church at Segunda Coffee Lab in Houston off of 711 Milby. You can hear some of the rumble we talked about when we talked about crankshafts. Sunday nights at Freddy's, Northwest Freddy's Steak Burgers on FM 1960 near Eldridge. It's a free show there. Tomball local car meet at 14443 FM 2920 in Tomball. Again, that's a free cruise in. And then the Dairy Bar meet at Plantation Drive in Lake Jackson for classic cars only. And then finally,
my car would be considered a classic car since it's over 20 years old.
Yep. And then finally, the Park and Trill Bahama Mama at 9116 Grand Parkway in Tomball. Bahama Mama.
Beautiful.
I think they do daiquiris there.
Well, I'm not a daiquiri fan. I got sick on pina coladas a long time ago. And
daiquiri is like a
too
rum,
sweet.
A rum-based.
Yeah. Time now for this hour's car review. I drove the 2023 Jeep Gladiator. You know anything about the Gladiator?
They fought a real good war.
Not that Gladiator, but they got some really cute dresses for those boys.
I'm telling you.
Available trim levels on the Gladiator: the Sport, the Overland, the Rubicon, and the Mojave. I had the Mojave 4x4. This is considered a standard pickup truck. Now, you'd swear up and down that what they did was they took a Jeep Wrangler and they took the back end off of it and they put a bed back there. No.
Not true.
That's not true. This is a purpose-built truck, okay?
And very few parts are interchangeable as far as the body goes.
Yes, that was.
I don't think anything's really interchangeable.
Well, some are and some aren't, but that's beside the point. You can take the doors off of it. You can put the windshield down on it. You can take the top off. Comes with a couple of top options. What all that? Kind of like a Wrangler in that aspect. Seats 5 people, including the driver. No real changes from last year. I think it was new in 2021. Exterior features: has a 5-foot bed on it, which is standard on all of the different trim levels. Looks like a Wrangler with a bed added behind the cab. A 1-inch lift is different on this one for the front suspension because this is a Mojave.
Yeah.
It's got the squared off upright stance. It's beefy off-road seriousness. It's not for wimps. And a reason that I say that is because this is not a Wrangler per se. This is a serious off-road pickup truck. I don't think that anything could keep up with this as far as its off-road ability other than another Jeep-based
trail
Wrangler.
rated.
Trail rated. and it rides that way. It doesn't ride, it doesn't steer like a regular pickup truck. This is an off-road vehicle. Mojave has a different trim than others. I mentioned the 1-inch lift on it. Comfortable seating with Mojave stitched on the seat backs. Easy to use infotainment system on it. It's the Uconnect system that works extremely well. This really is the Swiss Army knife of buttons and switches. Because remember, this is also not weatherproof, but weather
resistant.
That's a good word to use for it. Yeah, weather resistant. So, like for instance, the window switches to roll the windows down, they're up on the dashboard and not in the
door panel.
Not on the door panel. What I liked about it, storage nooks everywhere, including under the rear seat, kind of like a pickup truck. Weatherproof, as I said, weather-resistant interior. Now, it has a 3.6-liter V6 in it. A diesel is available, but that's a different animal altogether. This V6, I think, is going to be traded out for a inline 6 soon.
More torque.
If I'm not mistaken. Right now, 255 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is really plenty for this thing. 17 miles per gallon city, 22 highway for a combined of 19. I got 16.3 miles per gallon over 276 miles. Why so few, Don? I don't know. I would imagine it's the gearing, because gearing in the rear end can change depending on what you order, and the trim level. Maybe that had something to do with it. I really didn't delve into all of that. This is a solid V6. What could use improvement? Perhaps a turbocharged 4-cylinder? Don't know, just saying.
Well, they offer it in some other lines. I don't know if they do in the Gladiator.
No,
I know
they
they do in
not.
the Wrangler.
No. Like I said, the diesel is available. Ride and handling, this is a serious off-roader, fun and well-mannered on the pavement, but it is not a car. What could use improvement? The Mojave has a different transfer case to run at higher speeds. Did you know that, Mars? You didn't even research that, did you, when you had it? You didn't.
No.
Did you have the Mojave?
It didn't get there because they went through a construction zone, took out the windshield. So it showed up yesterday. So I haven't really had a chance to drive it yet.
Well, it has a different transfer case to run at higher speeds. So there you have it.
Interesting. I'll have to watch.
Base price on the Jeep Gladiator is $50,995. Price as tested with all the options is $67,000. The base model price for a Gladiator, $38,775. Okay? It's expensive, but remember, it is an off-road vehicle, and I can't underscore that enough. They look cool, but they are serious business underneath there. Competitors, well, there really isn't one, but we put it in the mid-sized truck category, and when you do that, you got the Chevy Colorado that starts at $29,200. The Toyota Tacoma, that's $28,580, and the Ford Ranger for $29,585, because you can get those in four-wheel drive. But I'm just saying, this is not that.
Four-wheel drive doesn't necessarily mean off-road.
If I'm a farmer and I'm living in the hill country and I want to go check the back 40, this would be the vehicle for me.
Farmer Don.
Can you imagine such a thing?
Growing weed in Oklahoma.
Well, he comes up with some stuff.
Notice I didn't deny it, but I don't have any property in Oklahoma, so it can't be true.
I got an uncle that'll sell you some.
I'll bet.
Weed or property?
Weed or property?
No, property.
Oh.
You probably just fudged on that, because he probably does sell weed.
No, he sells the property to the growers, and he gets big bucks for that property.
So in other words,
cash. He gets paid in cash.
Cash money, suitcases full of cash because of the weed that he grows in Oklahoma.
Daddy Mars bucks.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Ainsley, I'm sure that there's something in that for you. I'm not exactly sure where or how, but
I don't know.
He's sitting over there giggling and smiling.
Giggling.
That's Jeffrey right there.
Giggling.
Yeah, you're right.
I like the blue truck. I
with
like
his
that.
dilated pupils.
There you go.
No, his little squinty eyes.
There you go.
They're all bloodshot and stuff. You know about that, don't you, Mars?
I know what you've told me.
He's seen you, Don.
He's such a liar.
Moving on.
No, we're not moving on.
Oh, okay.
No, but I do have one thing that I did want to kind of squeeze in here because I love doing these. Hemmings sold cars
here we
Roundup.
go.
Okay?
You're included. You got to guess,
and
too.
we start off with Jeff's
to
car,
guess.
the 1984 Eldorado Biarritz.
Yeah,
sold
84.
for $16,000.
That's a lot.
A 90
all the money there.
Cadillac Alante for $7,650. I wonder why. Cadillac DTS. That's the big old school
You bet.
four-door
That's the
sedan.
boat, baby.
$15,000, Jeff.
Well, it's not very.
Could be
far
rolling.
behind.
You could
it's
be
a newer
rolling.
model versus the Cadillac
Alante.
Brits. Yeah, the Brits.
Here. This is me. 67 Chevy Camaro sold for $44,000, probably a 6-cylinder. 95 Corvette sold for $23,000. That's that ugly purple pace car edition. Ugh.
Oh yeah,
that was a mess.
Purple and yellow.
1970 Chevy Chevelle. It looks pretty. Dark blue with white stripes. Sold for $70,875.
Wow.
I believe
Sure
that.
hope that runs good.
Big block car.
81 Chrysler Cordoba. That's for you, Mars.
Hey,
With the rich Corinthian
Corinthian
leather for $10,500. There you go.
Yeehaw.
You could have had that.
I could
You
have been
could've-
down on the square last night
Yeah.
in my pimp mobile.
That's it.
And
I
then you
wouldn't
can
call that a pimp mobile.
give it to your
No.
granddaughters when you're done.
68 Porsche 911, $16,000. Now, here's a car that could be here today. All right? This is a 1950 Ford Custom, two-door convertible, $33,600.
I think it's over there.
No, it's flat black. It's got
Yeah.
wide whites on it. It's pretty cool. But anyway, that's some of the used car roundup for today. All right. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets available. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
Broadcasting live from the 48th Annual State Run of the Lone Star Street Rod Association at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
You bet.
Another guest from today's meetup just ahead. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week, all just ahead in this segment of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more King Conrad DeLong.
Yeah.
We also need Jeff Zekin, and he's here with us as well. And
who
a
else?
special appearance by our chief engineer and cook and bottle washer. Ladies and gentlemen, David Ainsley is here in the studio with us.
Or outside the studio.
And well, it's an outside studio.
In our
today.
remote
Yes.
studio.
You know, I have to tell you that there are a lot of really cool cars and trucks here today.
Driven by cool people.
But that one speaks to me.
Yeah.
The
it does.
color.
I know.
But I think more so when it pulled up out here. That thing's got a cam in it.
Yep.
Yeah, it
It is
does.
bad.
Gotta
pickup.
rumble
Would
to
you
it.
please introduce us?
And if you look up the license plate on the back of it, you can't see it from here, but it says, "Try me." And it's like, an invitation here. And then you look up front and you see this, what I thought was a big block with those big heads on it, and a tunnel ram with a couple of hollies sitting up there. But we'll let Mr. Randy Watson explain the rest of it.
All right.
Randy?
Yes,
It's all
sir.
you.
It's all you, bud.
Okay.
First of all, what is it?
First of all, it's a 32 Ford pickup. Got a small block 283 in it.
That's a small block.
Yes.
It's hidden under some different valve covers.
It's been bored 60 over. Got 12-to-1 compression pistons.
Oh, God.
And yes, it does have a big solid lift cam in it.
How often do you have to adjust that solid lifter cam?
Once a year.
That's all?
That's
Yeah.
not
Well, you don't drive it that much.
Well, it's got 80-something thousand on it.
Well, I lied.
drives it.
Jeez.
Well,
The color alone reminds me of American Graffiti. It really
Well,
does.
It'll pass everything but a gas station.
And
Yeah.
does it say on the side of it, sir, bounce a lot?
Yes, sir, it does.
Because,
Oh, it sure does.
Well, I guess it bounces around down the road as
Gotcha.
it goes. So.
well, I didn't know there's any hidden meaning in
No,
it or not.
no, no.
Now, did you build this yourself?
Yes, sir, I did. It took about 8 months to build it.
Wow.
Built frame and everything.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's
So-
truly
And that's
amazing.
working a full-time job and coming home and working in the afternoon.
And you're only 30 years old. You just
Yeah.
look your age
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
That one's been built about 30 years ago. I've had
Really?
it about 32 years, but
Oh, wow.
we finally decided to work on it and took 8 months to get it going.
And did you chop the roof yourself?
Yes, it's chopped, channeled, sectioned. If you look at the bed, it's added to the back of the cab.
Oh,
Oh, I see that now.
Yeah, now I'm looking. Yes, it truly
So,
is.
so
It's-
what's with the valve covers?
The valve covers were built probably in 69 and 70. Larson Engine International or
I
something like
remember
that.
Larson, yep.
Yeah, they built them valve covers, and they were $475 for a pair of them
Back then.
back then, and
that's
I'm
a
making
ton of money.
$125 a week. So it took a long time to find them at a
'Cause they-
swap meet.
They definitely show as a big block with the big
Yes.
fat valve covers.
Yeah.
So is it just all valve cover, or is there
It's
a
all
special
valve
head
cover.
underneath it?
No, it's got a regular head under it. Of course, it's got guide plates and stud girdles and all the stuff to make it run.
But you can see the Siamese exhaust pipe, so I knew it was a small block, but I'm looking at the valve covers going, that's an odd
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's big block. They said, no wonder it runs so good. It's got a big block. I said, no, it's small block, and it still runs good.
Yeah.
And it runs with 2 4-barrels.
Yes, got two 600s on it. Both of them are hooked up at the same time. If one open, both open. So,
And it can swallow all that.
yeah,
Wow.
they'll go.
And I see you've got like an extended gas tank under there or something. Is
Yeah, it's 22 gallons
Oh.
underneath there. But it gets 18 miles to the gallon out on the highway.
Not
that-
bad.
Oh, very
Does it
good.
really?
Yeah, here in town it don't, but out on the highway.
And what
yeah.
kind of transmission?
I got T5 5-speed in it.
Okay.
It run 130 in third, and I still got 2 more gears after that. But
Whoa.
140 is fast, too fast for it.
And it bounces.
And it bounces,
I
no
bet
doubt.
it does. And the suspension?
That's cool.
It's all coil springs on the back, and of course it got straight axle in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
it kind
yeah.
of makes 130 miles an hour interesting.
Yes, it does. At
Straight
140,
axle.
it start doing this wobble stuff. So
Skating across
yeah,
the, yeah.
let me slow
and
down.
that's probably more aerodynamics than anything else.
Yeah.
Or lack of aerodynamics.
Yeah,
Did you
Oh,
build the
wobble.
engine yourself?
Yeah, I build my motors, transmissions, rear ends. I do it all.
Did you
Good
do
for
this
you.
professionally before?
No.
No.
I started out at 10 years old playing with cars and stuff. My dad didn't know nothing about them. My brother didn't know about them. But
Well, you had to learn from somebody something.
I met with a real good friend of mine and his brothers and them drag raced and stuff. And they built transmissions
And they
motors.
drug you along. There
And-
you go.
And
How
I
did I do it?
fit right in it.
You
Yeah.
were the pit crew.
Yeah, I was.
But how
So-
lucky were you? I
Real
mean,
lucky.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Man,
real
as a
lucky.
kid, I'd have
Yeah.
loved to have done
Yeah.
something like that.
Because they did body work, they painted.
Sure.
So you didn't have to do it. Just watching.
Right.
They helped you.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Randy, get out there and sand that door panel.
that's right. Go
Hey,
help me.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Randy, can
Go
you
help me.
help me hang those headers on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was you.
Rebuild that
And it's
car.
got a real aggressive look with the skinnies up front and the fatties in the back.
And the license plate that says "Try me."
Now, is that the original bed?
No, it's aftermarket, but it's a bed for a 33 Ford pickup because I didn't like the way the 32 Ford pickup bed looked.
Well, I noticed it's got some creases in the side for strength, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
well, did he put those in there?
No.
I got that.
It-
Obviously, you had to modify the bed, I guess. I don't know how.
Yeah.
The fenders and all that.
Yeah, the fenders I bought them from Speedway,
Okay.
and they're the wider fenders for the rear.
Yeah.
And then the front, I had to modify them myself to bring them out to where the running boards lined up.
They sort of look like the
So-
fenders the other gentleman had on his trailer.
So,
Did you say they came from a 32?
Yeah.
I think he did. So those
Well,
are
they're
fender-
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think that the fenders in that era, kind of like today's cars, they were all competing with each other for that kind of look.
Yeah, a little bit wider here, a little wider there.
Yeah.
More,
Yeah.
more
Swoopy.
fan-tailed. Yep.
yeah.
Now, do you trailer it to shows? Do you
No.
drive it?
It's drove everywhere. We've been to
Good for
Pueblo,
you.
Colorado. We've been everywhere.
Wow.
Has it got air conditioning? in
Yes, it does.
Wow.
it? What is it? The cowl vent? Is that the air conditioning?
No,
You got vintage air in it?
no, I don't. I got just one with a little aftermarket under the dash units and
Oh,
compressor mounted. Well, no, that one's up high. The other cars I have are down low, but that one's up high.
I love it.
So,
I want to hang out with you.
anytime.
So
Sure.
what did you do? I mean, are you retired? You still work?
Still work every
Still
day.
work? All right.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Heavy equipment mechanic.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
there
it
you
fits
have
right
it.
in.
Yeah.
So,
And quite
Heavy
a
equipment.
fabricator.
Are you talking about like
big
you know?
bulldozers,
front end
backhoes,
loaders,
all,
yeah.
yes, all
Yeah.
of it. Yes.
Well, have you done that pretty much all your life?
I started in '78. I went work for this one company, and I'm still there.
Well, I,
Wow.
in a very short period of time, when I worked with my dad at Waukesha Motor Company, they carried Michigan equipment. I'm
Yep.
sure you're familiar with
I
that.
worked on it.
Yep, the great big, hinged front end loaders, all
Yep.
that stuff, and I drove a few of those, and boy, that's some fun stuff.
is.
And those mechanics that worked in that shop, which would be you, very talented, and they did a lot of welding, repairs, because those things get beat up really bad.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to. They're
That's
a
what
working
they're,
vehicle.
That's what they're made for, and they either put them back into the rental fleet or they sold them.
Yeah.
And when they walked out the door with their brand new rebuilt, it looked brand new.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Done it.
And
Been there.
a paint shop like you've never seen, because it was like 30 feet high to get those great big tractors in there.
Yeah. You live here in the area?
I live in Plantersville.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
there.
Plantersville,
Down
well,
our way.
hello. That's
Neighbors.
the
Texas Renaissance deal.
Festival.
They're,
yeah.
they're almost in my front yard.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
they
just,
really?
I'm
Yeah.
just south of Tomball.
Yeah.
Now, do you work for a company or you work for yourself?
Yeah, I work for Ray Smith Construction out of Houston.
Okay.
And he gave his company away to 3 of the guys that worked for him because he had 2 other different companies going. So I went to work for him at the other company. And then finally he sold them out. So I'm at his house, either working at his house on all his farm equipment, or I'm in Houston. He lets me build people's old cars for him
Oh, cool.
when he don't have nothing for me to do at his place. So
I know a couple people that need that kind of work.
Yeah, I got a few of them already there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Randy, can you fix that fender for me? Hey, I need a little welding done over here. You know, that 454 just isn't quite running right. Can you help me with that?
Yeah.
He does it all.
Yeah, I got a 67 Mustang Fastback in my shop in Houston that we're putting a Coyote motor. Matter of fact, we already got it in.
Oh, wow.
All the Detroit Speed front end.
And where's the shop?
So it's in Houston. They're off the Hardy Tow Road.
How cool.
So it gives us something that when I don't have nothing to do at his place, I go there and work. So.
Well, the Coyote motor is becoming the small block Chevy.
Hey, ain't that the truth?
As you're seeing it being used in more and more applications, and driving towards the Ford products. But you know, it's cool to see some of the Fords being built with the Ford engines.
Okay, Randy, it's a pleasure.
Same
we love
here.
it. Love your truck.
Thank you.
American Graffiti.
We'll be looking to run into you downtown Granbury.
Hey, that'll work, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you, Randy.
Hey, thank y'all.
You bet. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is just shoot us an email. Our address here at the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is info@inwheeltime.com. So please do that for us. Conrad, why don't we, while we're waiting here, why don't we do the This Week in Auto History? Are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. And then we're going to get our next guest.
So this week in 1864, Ransom Eli Oldsmobile was born.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, go figure
At
that.
Mecca.
In northeastern Ohio, in a town called Geneva. In 1917, Henry Leland, the founder of Cadillac Motor Cars, resigned as the company's president.
He had to.
In 1917, and he and William Durant arranged to sell Cadillac to General Motors Corporation. Leland was an engineer that created the electric starter that made Cadillac so successful at its start. You didn't have to get out there and crank it by hand. You just push a button or step on a button on the floor and it started.
I had the truck that I had. That's what it had.
Mm-hmm. The floor starter.
Yeah, floor starter, and that
starter.
was all manual because when you pressed on the button, it had a lever down there that mashed the.
And then Leland's next great achievement at Cadillac was to introduce the V8 engine. So he was quite the engineer. In 1921, Mack adopted the Bulldog as its symbol for its Mack trucks. In 1933, this week, eager motorists parked their automobiles on the grounds of the Park Inn Theater, the first ever drive-in movie theater located on Crescent Boulevard in Camden, New Jersey. The nice thing was they created the drive-in. The bad thing was it was in New Jersey. Sorry.
You used to hang out in New Jersey.
No, I was upstate New York.
He's a Jersey boy.
Jersey was
You're
close.
from Jersey. I'm from Jersey
Hey,
too.
forget about it.
In
I know a
1951,
guy.
Gordon Berrig of South Bend, Indiana, he received a patent for vehicle top construction with removable panels, which finally appeared in 1968 on the Corvette Stingray as T-tops. Berring was one of the 25 candidates of the Car Designer of the Century, an international award given in 1999 to honor the most influential some of the most influential automobile designers of the 20th century.
Cool.
That's This Week in Auto History.
All right,
Thanks for
Mr.
the
Mars,
cat,
we
man.
have another guest.
Far, I was just brought to my attention about the kettle corn and stuff, and there's some pinstriping going on over there. If you need a little pinstriping,
I was
maybe on
thinking
your
about that. Yeah.
on your glasses
Actually, I was
there.
thinking about getting some pinstriping on that brand new $100,000 Denali over there.
Yeah. You can send it back to the
could send-
factory.
we could send it back to Dallas.
Here's
the
what I
press
think
fleet.
makes it look better.
Yeah, how do you think that would go over?
Yeah.
That'd be the last truck I get from General Motors.
There you go.
Probably, but you might could talk Jeff Kinsey out of his 36 Ford truck that's sitting right
Jeff
here.
Kinsey.
Well, Jeff, come on, man.
Jeff
That's gorgeous.
Kinsey. Jeff, obviously you're a hot rodder.
Yep.
And is this your first hot rod?
Oh, no. I started out in a
says
bucket.
And he says it with, some sort of distance. No.
Well, you got to read
said
his
it with
shirt.
passion.
Hot Rods by JSK, I'm assuring.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think
Hot Rods
the
by
J is
JSK.
Jeff
We're
and
in East
K is
Texas.
Kinsey.
Where in
We're
East
at
Texas?
East Texas, between Greenville and Sulphur Springs. We're about
It's called East.
east. We're about 65, 70 miles east of Dallas, a little small town.
Over there, close to Louisiana.
777 people. No, Interstate 30. like you're going to Texarkana.
Okay.
We're between Dallas and Texarkana.
All right.
Got a hot rod shop there. Started off building cars in school, and I built the T-Bucket in high school and finished it a little later on.
Where'd you go to high school? East?
Cumbie, little
Where?
small town there. I've never left. Yeah,
You're
still there. Yeah,
And they had like an auto shop program?
well, no.
He made it into
I was
that.
going to say.
Our class kind of made it one.
There you go.
But we did a lot of cutting springs and modifying and in what we called ag.
Did
back
you?
then.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, did you do any tractor work?
Oh yeah, yeah.
How'd I know that?
We painted tractors for everybody in town.
What's your favorite tractor? What brand?
Oh, I actually have a 1896 Minneapolis.
Oh, Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Never
yard
even heard
art
of it.
deal.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the Olivers, the 40.
The
in
eclectic
the
stuff.
40s. Yeah, they just had really nice lines. You know, the grill shells and everything on them. But
We have a friend of ours that likes tractors as well. His name is John Hovis. He owns a place down just west of Houston in Brookshire named the Hemi Hideout.
yeah.
And he's got a collection of tractors, and he's got lots of Hemis in there.
Oh, he's got all
That's
kinds
a place that you'd
neat
really
stuff.
appreciate
Yeah.
visiting.
Tractors just wasn't fast enough, though. You know?
No, I know, I got it. But they sure did do some weird stuff out in the field.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about his vehicle here is the tilted front windshield. I like that.
Yeah.
It pops out.
Yeah.
I'm a traditional guy. You know?
Didn't it do that originally?
It did.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it doesn't have.
That
Does
was
it doesn't have
the
a
original air conditioner.
It doesn't have a cowl on it, does it?
No.
No, it's got a cow vent.
It
but,
does.
Yeah, and but we made it look like it's functional, but it's not because of all the AC and everything.
Sure,
and
sure.
It's just not enough room to function.
The
Yeah.
louvers on the top of the hood, did you do those yourself?
We
or-
did. We built the hood sides. We built the fender well openings, the running boards, the grill, the bed,
Wow.
the tail light.
Quite a
the cushions.
fabricator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
How-
Tell me about the wheels.
They are Wheelsmith, and they're actually aluminum. And then we went in and painted them. It's a billet aluminum wheel.
Oh,
And
it
then-
is.
Yeah, it's a billet aluminum
Looks
wheel. We
cool.
went in and polished all the veins and everything and painted them.
How big's your shop?
It's growing. We just built the new 40 by 80 section for a body shop. We're gonna try to separate the dirty stuff from the clean
Yeah.
stuff. But I was gonna tell you a while ago. I worked there in high school when it was a regular automotive shop, and then in '96,
You bought it.
me and my wife bought it. And
What a great story.
Well, it's one of them Cinderella stories, you know. I mean, I guess it was just meant to be. And yeah, we keep a 2 to 3 year backlog and have ever since 1996.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, that's very
Says
nice.
something about the quality of your work that people are willing to hang.
You need
hang
your
that
own
long
TV
with
show.
for you.
Well,
JSK Auto.
they've tried.
Yeah.
They've tried. We've had to run them off a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Run them off. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a total pain, isn't it?
But no, yeah. But I've got some really talented guys working for me. You know, and that's what it takes. It takes a team.
Did you
Talent.
import them?
Actually, yeah, we've moved some in from Wisconsin.
I was going to say, because you only had 700 people to work with there.
I tell
How
you
is it
what,
working with
it's-
those cheese heads?
It's well, it's tough.
He's one.
Yeah,
But we're working on him.
yeah. that's
He's
good.
working on us, and we're working on him.
Yeah.
We understand.
Listen, it is a total change of mindset coming to Texas from Wisconsin.
It
I
is.
know because I did it.
I told him, I said, we're a lot friendlier than y'all are, and you need to get used to that.
Yep. Yep.
But no,
And
we-
you don't
he
have
said,
any,
exactly. Yeah.
you don't have any cows in the backyard, do you?
No, I used to do all that when I was at home. We had 178 acres where I was raised, and
Ooh.
we did cows and horses and all that stuff. And my dad, he wasn't into cars. If it didn't have hooves or horns, he wasn't interested in
Right.
it. But
And it probably had a truck that used it just for
Yeah.
that as a truck, and that was all it was
Yep.
to it. So let's get back to your truck. What's under the hood?
it's an LT4 older vet motor.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it gets decent gas mileage?
You wouldn't believe it. It gets about 25, 26.
Whoa.
What transmission you got?
4L60. We finished that truck in 15, and it had 150 miles on it, and we drove it cross country and did the Good Guys Road Tour And that truck actually won Truck of the Year early.
Oh,
in
congratulations.
16. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But we put 3,000 miles on it and no problems at all.
You know,
other than a ticket in Louisiana running 120 mile an hour.
Well, that's to be expected.
But you'll have that.
They don't
know.
go fast very much over there.
Yeah.
They
They
have
don't joke around like we do.
they have
come on.
no sense of humor over there.
They do not.
Yeah, the only way to validate your speed is to take a ticket for it.
That's right. And I did.
Otherwise, everybody just thinks you're bragging. I'm like, no, here, let me show you this.
I took one for the team.
There you
Hey,
go.
this one cost me $700 and a night in jail.
So I had the fortune of taking the last 2-year hot rod tour of Texas.
Yeah.
And I think that next year that Bobby, you know those guys?
Who?
Hot rod tour of Texas.
No.
Bobby Sparkman.
Bobby Sparkman.
No,
anyway,
I sure don't.
Well, that's something for you to look up on
I
Facebook.
will.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll look me up.
And maybe
There
so.
you go.
And what I was thinking was, hey, Bobby, you're looking for a place to kind of end the tour
Make
next
a
year.
stop.
We start in Victoria. The past
Yeah.
2 years, we've gone through the hill country up to this neck of the woods. Well, next year,
You
make
give
it
them an
up
option
your
to go out to
ways.
East
and-
Texas.
Yeah.
We've done that. We've actually hosted. There was a deal, oh, gosh, it was probably 25 years ago. It was called Tour Around Texas. And we hosted one of the stops, fed everybody barbecue and all that stuff. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
nothing but a bunch of crazy car people
Yeah.
that.
Posey was on that. There was a bunch of people that was on it. It was a pretty cool deal.
It's good to know that the tours are still active, but they're just managed and run by different entities of the organization. Like next
Right.
year you might do it, and
Right.
you've done it 25 years or whatever.
How long?
But it just all goes.
How long you been a member of the Lone Star Street Rod Association?
Well, me and Rick was talking a while ago. I was in Waco when it flooded so bad in a 37 Ford and water was going over the running board, so it's got to be at least 25 years,
Holy
somewhere
cow.
in there. I've been a member since then. And no, they do a really great job. You know, we have a lot of fun. And the cars are cool, but it's the people that you meet that's really the.
That's what pretty
you
much
know,
everybody sat here and talked with.
Exactly.
It's kind of a family reunion.
That's what it's all
with
about.
cool cars.
Yeah.
Yes, my girlfriend was never involved in anything automotive until she met me, and you can't really explain the camaraderie. Take her to races and to cruise-ins and places like this and
Right.
auto shows and that sort of stuff, and you can't really explain that to somebody. They have to experience to understand it.
Yeah, some people just don't get it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
we
the only thing automotive she had experience with was getting screwed on getting a Jaguar fixed
Oh God.
Yeah.
over and over.
Let's
and
not
over
even
again.
talk about
Yeah.
The
that.
Prince
don't
of
go there.
Darkness. That's what I call the wiring in there. Just something about positive grounds that just don't sound right.
What do you got in the shop that excites you right now?
We got several builds going on. We got a 70 Chevelle hardtop that LS
There you go.
supercharged. We're building a really, really, really cool Mustang Coyote motor, Super Snake supercharged motor, 857 horse.
Oh wow!
We took a roadster shop chassis and narrowed it, and then actually widened the car so we don't have to do any, fender flares or anything on it. Everything is hand built. The only thing that we used is a roof, and pretty much the A pillars and the B pillars to bolt the doors and the latches together. We made everything else. And then right down the road, Babe's Chicken down here, I'm building a 56 Lincoln Premier convertible for him.
Oh, how cool!
That's going to be a really neat car. He's a big car guy. Got a lot of convertibles, and
One of our earlier guests had mentioned Babe's Chicken.
it's the best chicken. It's the
Well, that's
best
what he
chicken I've
said.
ever
that's
put in
what
my
Ben
mouth.
said. He says it's the best.
We're going to have to
chicken you'll
stop
ever
on the
eat.
way
gonna
out
have
of
to stop
town.
thinking, yeah.
Oh, you need to. I promise you won't regret it. He won't give me the recipe. I don't know what the deal is.
No.
Yeah.
He and the Colonel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, listen, man, it's a pleasure. Love your truck.
Thank you.
I hope
Gets
to
lots
see you
of
again.
attention.
And now that we've got a connection to the Piney Woods, deep East Texas, we're coming to see you.
We would love to have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll buy you a beer, whatever need to do.
All right. Well, thank you again.
All righty. Thank y'all.
Kenzie, thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Jeff.
Again, if you'd like to get in touch with us here at the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com. We're getting ready to close out the show. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jeff.
Here at the Granbury headquarters of the Lone Star Street Rod Association Rod Run. And I did want to get in a couple of extra stories here. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get two. We have trucks. General Motors said Thursday it intends to invest more than $500 million at its factory in Arlington to build future versions of its popular full-size SUVs. They are going to stick a lot of money into it. Up there, they make the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban, GMC Yukon and Yukon XL, Cadillac Escalade, Escalade ESV, and the Escalade V.
Yes.
That's all out of Arlington, so they're going to stick a lot of money into that factory up there. And Carvana seems to have turned a corner. It looks like,
what's going on with those?
Well, they may survive. Talking debt heavy. They expect to achieve an adjusted profit above $50 million in its second quarter.
They robbed a bank.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to close out today's show right after this.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're online, check out our Facebook page. Follow us, if you would, please. Not just a like, but a follow.
Yeah.
Tell your friends about us and share our junk, if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features, along with all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other informative and entertaining car and truck goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. You be sure and catch us on In Wheel Time Car Talk on our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from over a dozen of the most popular podcast providers. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley, who's with us today. Our Marketing Advertising Advisor and Video Technical Director is We Need More Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent and Podcast Philanderer, Mike Mars, along with Mr. Know-It-All, his royalty King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Next week, we're back at the Sugar Shack in our recently purchased blow-up pool.
All right.
And all of our in-wheel time car talk outlets right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. 8 to 11 Central next Saturday. Have a great weekend. Stay cool. And so long for now, everybody.
Bye-bye.